Tune in episode 67. We have Nate in the big chair. Ooh. We have the preferred nannies here. Take a listen.
You're listening to Between Two Bridges, a business-to-business podcast. With your hosts, Joe Ferranti and Jerry Kenna. Produced by Nathan Kenna. Interviewing entrepreneurs, business operators, and investors. This episode of Between Two Bridges is brought to you by Duro Cleaners. Luxury laundry care conveniently delivered to your door. Visit durocleaners.com because life's better without laundry.
Episode 67, Between Two Bridges. We got a room full this week.
Yes, crowded house.
Crowded house. We got a new face. You guys have seen episode 4. I think you were
Crashing it.
The producer Nate's here. And Nate has...
I brought some friends.
He brought his friends.
All the friends.
So, and they own a business also. And just give us a little bit about yourselves and then we'll go from there.
I'll let you start, Jess.
Oh, why do I have to always be the one that's got to start? So we own the Preferred Nanny, which is a nanny placement agency that we started in 2011.
Wow.
So trucking along here.
Yeah.
But Jill and I were best friends growing up since day one, since babies. Our parents were friends, and we both kind of took the same career path into childcare and then decided to start the agency together.
You're not sick of each other yet?
I know, I was just going to say we don't hate each other. I don't know how.
Surprisingly,
Yeah, we don't hate each other yet.
Well, there's a lesson in that for like our listeners. Partnerships can work out in business.
Oh,
yeah.
Because a lot of times they don't work out.
could have fooled me.
There's like a 99.9% failure rate.
Yeah.
Meet the 0.1%.
Yeah.
We're here today.
So what were you doing in 2010 before you did this? What?
We were both nannies at the time.
Okay. For a company or privately or?
Privately.
Privately.
Yeah.
Well, I think at that time I lost my job. My boss had a medical emergency.
Oh, right.
She suffered a stroke.
Oh.
I mean, she's fine now, thankfully. She's okay. But I lost my job because family came in to help out. And then,
Family.
yeah, then shortly after that, I end up getting pregnant and no one wants to hire. Oh, no, actually, I did get a new job. And I told her when I started, on the day that I interviewed, I said, just so you know, I just got married. My husband and I are trying to get pregnant. Don't know when it will happen.
Day
2 weeks later, I was pregnant. So she's like, well, and I was sick the whole time, the whole pregnancy. And then
Did you have a boy or girl?
I had my daughter, my oldest. Yeah. And then, so after that, I just stayed home with her.
You realize what childcare actually costs, and you're like, that is a fortune to be made.
No, and the thing is, no one wants to hire like a nanny that has a baby that they have to bring along.
Yeah. I got lucky because I was working for the same family the whole time.
Yeah.
So like I was in my 20s when I started, got pregnant, had babies. They let me bring my kids with me, which is like unheard of in the nanny community.
You're getting paid to watch your own kids.
So I was able to bring my own kids, and I did that with one family for 15 years. I worked for them.
Right.
I never saw like the flaw in that. I always felt like if you're a mom and you have your kids there, the environment's going to be safe, right? My wife was like, yeah, but like if their kid stabs our kid.
Well, it goes back to the liability. I think it's a liability thing.
She probably said like, well, if both kids like fall or there's a problem, they're going to put our kid in the room. She probably said something really smart.
Well, the thing is,
like if they stab each other, right? Like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, when you're paying a nanny, I mean, you're paying a lot of money. Like you want that one-on-one attention. So when they're bringing their child, like, okay, well, who's priority here? Who's top priority? your own children are.
Right.
Right. If,
So-
if the house is on fire
Mama
and you
bears.
could only grab one kid, you're grabbing your own damn kid. You're not grabbing the
I grabbed a
family's
bunch
kid.
of
You're
kids out of a
not.
house fire one time.
What?
That you set?
No, I didn't say that. No. Years ago, I was cutting grass. Like I was like 19.
That was quick. That was good.
Cutting grass. We should get him on the show more often, fucker.
This is
This
smart
thing is
ass.
like throwing
This is all
things
the
at
shit
me.
that I'm thinking when I'm sitting back here.
But so I was cutting grass, like 19 years old. I heard the fire whistle going off in Oakmont, and then I heard a smoke detector, and I was like, "Oh, that's all bad. Like that.
Yeah.
That's close." So I like walk up the street, and this lady had like 7 kids. She was running a daycare out of her house.
Oh,
And then a
wow.
fire. So like we started getting the kids across the street, and like she was like, "Hey, you wouldn't mind? I'd like to get my van out of the garage." And I'm like, "I got it." Like my dad was like a fire chief. Like I've been around it. Like I haven't fought fires, but
Yeah.
I know how to get away from them.
Yeah.
But like I'm going back in for the van. I'm gonna be a hero. And in my head,
Man.
well, all I'm thinking in my head is like I'm not even hitting the garage door opener. I'm fucking wrecking it right now.
that was what
That was
That
like
was
your
like my
time.
goal. Like,
Yeah,
dude,
you're
call
like,
your man. Sorry about your plants. So, but I went into the house and I couldn't see when I got in there. Like I lost.
What was that bad? Some bitch was on fire.
Yeah, it was the basement was on fire. The whole house was full of smoke. So like I was cutting grass. I had like my safety glasses on, and I was like, "Yeah, that didn't work." I like couldn't see.
But at least you weren't getting the smoke in your eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was good. But my buddy's dad was a
Wait a second. Were there still kids in
Yeah, I
there?
was just gonna
No, they
say,
were all-
was
it was
everyone
It must
out?
have been an
Everybody
attached
was out.
garage.
Everyone was
Was it an
out,
attached
okay.
It was an
garage?
attached garage.
So you
Okay.
were just
Yeah.
rescuing the van.
Yeah, that was it.
For
It
caravan.
wasn't like fuck you, Timmy.
He went back
We got
into
caravans.
I thought you said you saved kids from
I
the
thought
fire.
you said that
I
too.
helped
You
the
saved
lady
the
get
kids.
across the street. Like we got him out of the
you
house.
got
No, at the very
Straight back
beginning,
in,
he
man.
did say he helped save the kids from
He
the fire.
did.
Yeah, that was
That
the
was
part.
I thought
that
you
was
were
the
going back
opening
in.
to the
Because
story
that's
for
where-
sure.
I
that's how-
seriously
yeah,
thought she was like, hey, I wouldn't mind if you went in and got the other kid. There's one more kid.
Just walking like, get off my leg.
He's my least favorite.
Like, shit's got leather seats.
There's a couple kids in the van.
Yeah, so
Yeah, there's a couple kids in there. They're in the van in the garage.
can't have nothing. But no, so I thought like I'm gonna be a hero. I'm gonna save these kids and save this van, and like everything's gonna be perfect and everybody's gonna love me. And I couldn't find my way in or out because like you can lose the sight quick. But
yeah.
my buddy's dad was a volunteer fireman also, and like he came in and was like, "Here, go this way," you know, and like caught me out, and then he went and got the van. Garage door comes
Ah,
open.
so he was the hero.
You didn't even get to
stole
be
your
in.
thunder.
So nonchalant, like the garage door comes up, and I swear, I think he dialed in the radio and was lighting a cigarette as it backed it out. And kudos to Big J Zankrili, man.
I knew
He
you
was
were
a
gonna
stud. He was a stud. And yeah, I'm like, well, I guess my work's done here. I went and like weed whacked the yard. And, like,
I'm going to go back to my yard.
yeah, and I was like, I got a route to run here. Like, we got shit to do. Yeah, I don't even know if that lady ever knew me. Like, it was chaos. Like, she
Yeah.
was freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, I would be too. My house is on fire.
Right,
Well,
and
me,
she
dude,
was
I'm
probably
like-
not even running a legit daycare.
Yeah,
With her
There was no liability for that
I'd call,
daycare.
I'd be like, hey, Tom.
She didn't have insurance if she was worried about the van.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah, I'd call the insurance company before I called 911.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah,
Like, we square here,
right.
go out, take a breather, let it get really going.
Well, that's why she wanted the van, because she was going to run the daycare out of the van after that.
Yeah, down by the
She had
river.
right.
So it's 2010. You're both nannying, and you're like, we should do this for ourselves and do it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
this one's idea right
Enjoy.
here.
Well, yeah, it's because the family I worked for, like my last long-term nanny position, they found me through like a nanny recruiter. Like she wasn't like a business kind of like an
No,
independent
yeah, like
type
stood
thing.
around.
But when I found out what they paid her to find me, I was like,
I'm on the wrong end of this.
yeah, I was like, maybe we should give this a shot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I mean, I think it was like a good time because, like I said, I just had my daughter,
Right.
and then I got pregnant 9
With their
months
what?
later with Leo.
Oh, they're that close?
Yeah, so they're 18 months apart.
Okay.
So it was like, who's going to hire me with 2 kids in tow? So
So they're like 12 and 11 now?
my daughter's 13. Yeah, my son's 12. Yeah.
Good math, Joe.
Yeah, that was quick.
Because I was looking to see what wine I wanted to open tonight, so I was doing the math.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like it's fresh.
Okay. Yeah.
The math is fresh.
Yeah.
So how did you start it? I know you offer a bunch of services now, but at
Well, it's
first
funny.
it was
We
just
started when we started. We
were more of a babysitting service when we started.
but we've gone through a few different names.
Oh my gosh,
we've rebranded
Right, a few
Right.
times. We started
What
as
was the purpose?
PGH Sitters.
No.
yeah.
Pittsburgh Sitters.
That was not our first name.
What was our first name?
Sitter Source is
We
the
got
one
you,
I remember.
bitch.
I thought it was
That was-
Pittsburgh Nanny Connection.
It was. It was Pittsburgh Nanny Connection. Then it was Pittsburgh Sitters. Then it was the Sitter
Sitter
Source.
Source.
Now it is the Preferred Nanny.
I like
We've
the last
changed.
ones. The first few sound like that DV skit where it's like
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Deer Dragon.
Why did you feel the need to change, let alone that many times?
So the
First time
one
was, somebody else had something similar.
there was a business in Ohio, and I think they're still
it was
operating.
called the
They go
Nanny
by the
Connection.
Nanny Connection. So two similar, and then we changed it to what did we change?
Pittsburgh Sitters, which I hated. Though we weren't that for very long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then because we really wanted to focus on doing on call. We thought, this
babysitting.
is going to be
Babysitting.
it. This is going to be our thing. Like because
Not long-term placement, but Friday night.
Well, we
I need
did. We
somebody.
still did long-term placement.
But we were really pushing for that sitter end of things, which is
because there was no
nightmare.
other service around that really offered it in Pittsburgh, so we thought, we're gonna make a killing. Like this is what people are they want, and it was a fucking headache because
was awful.
I mean, we just had constant turnover of sitters canceled. So Jess and I would have to go in and fill in for people because
just working all the time.
we'd have sitters canceling last minute, and families well, I need someone. So Jess and I were like, all right, well, it looks like we're going to babysit because
Can't wait.
yeah.
No, so they're ordering a Friday night sitter. How long before do they have to order it? Like Thursday or 2 hours?
Well, I mean, we always recommend that
24 hours.
at least 24 hours or more.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people would put in a request.
You still offer that service or no?
We
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's
but
still a headache.
it is a headache now, but we have somebody that does that helps us. It does. We have an on-call coordinator does it for us. And we also have a software now that
But we did have a software back then, Jess, too. Remember?
but it wasn't
It wasn't like it is now.
Yeah.
But it's,
It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It was a big headache. So that's what we were like, all right, we need to focus on permanent placement. So actually, when we changed the name just to solely focus on permanent placement,
That's when you got away from the sitter of the sitter source.
yeah, but we, so at that time, we weren't even doing on-call, like the backup care.
And we quit doing it for a while.
Yeah, we did. And then after, I think a couple
We
years.
were tainted by that for a bit.
Yeah, a couple of years, I think like having clients asking all the time, like, oh, do you offer backup care? Like, what happens if our nanny calls off? What happens if, what a date night sitter? So Jess and I were like, we offer it again. I guess we should.
Yeah, so we did.
People will get you to do anything
So
for
we
the
do
right
have an
price.
app now. We have an app that runs like Uber.
Yeah.
So
Oh, really?
families sign up, sitters sign up, and then they put in a job, and a sitter picks it up, and that's how
Did
that
you
works.
develop that software? Or
No.
No, I wish
like
we did.
industry
I wish we
specific.
did.
Yeah, I know.
Someone else making it even bigger.
No, somebody else developed the software. We just pay to use it.
Yeah, I think about that. Like in my dry cleaners, we pay for our software, and like I was like on the precipice, like with them. I was one of their first people, And I think about it, like they get $475 a month
Yeah.
plus all my credit card fees.
Right, same.
And
We're in the same boat.
And I'm like,
yeah.
we're out here killing it for
I
them.
know.
Dude. They're
Doing
doing
well.
well.
They just
know.
showed you the wrench.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we just actually started with a new software company. The company that we were using before, just for the on-call, loved them.
I know they got bought out by this other company, so now
And it
isn't
gets
as
around.
gorgeous, but it's working. It's just
The
It's
companies
hard.
that behind a lot of the software companies are actually credit card processing companies because they have a captive audience.
Yeah.
So like we have not the one I use, but there's one in our industry that was bought by like I forget what it was, Star or something like that.
Shift 4.
What's that?
Shift 4.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not going to hold them to it, but once the people that originally started left, the credit card, it was just a business to them. They didn't care about your software. They just cared about their 3 or 4% they were getting on every sale.
Right.
So that's an interesting beast. And I think that AI, we had a whole episode where we kind of talked about AI. And I think that AI is going to eliminate all that.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
AI is going to watch my kid.
I don't know about that.
well,
you
YouTube
watch it? Have you
already
seen
does.
Megan? Have you seen Megan?
No.
I haven't either, but I've seen enough of the previews to know.
What is it?
I've seen enough
It's
of
like
the previews
some
and I'm watching.
scary like girl doll. Oh no, then there was also that one that's a nanny. What's that movie called?
Fran
Watch
Drescher.
scary things.
No. Aw, Fran.
I met her in person.
Did
Fort
you?
Lauderdale. Yep.
Did
Fort
she
Lauderdale,
speak
Florida.
that
Exactly
way?
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Fort Lauderdale,
Always
Florida. Her
wondered.
parents had a place where my buddy's parents had a place. I was like, "Are you the nanny?"
Hey.
She's like, yeah, Fran Drescher. Thank you.
I was like, I hear the nanny. I heard her before I saw her.
So what did you expand to after the long term and short term? Because you guys do elderly care too?
It's listed, but nobody ever calls us for it.
Really?
I mean, we can find anything. Like we're just a recruitment agency at this point. We have so many connections because we've been in business for so long. If somebody called us and needed a housekeeper, or if they
I saw that on
needed
your
a
website.
house manager, or they needed an elder companion, like we have enough connections where we could do and place anybody with anything at this point. But
You're using the word need. We all need.
I need
Yeah.
a housekeeper.
for real, yeah.
I need a
I'd have to clean my house first before I let a stranger in my house to clean it.
exactly what we do.
Yeah.
I just had the conversation with my wife. I said, I'm not worried about the mess if you're not worried about the mess. Like
That's how it starts,
we
dude.
need to embrace the mess. Like you just need to.
a slippery
We have a
slope.
3-year or a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
And my 7-year-old's been home for like a week with like she had her tonsils out, so like she's home.
Yeah.
And like, you just see it. Like once you get older, I think like when you're first in the parenting thing, like you could probably test this. Like you think like, all right, well my mom did it, like my grandmate like did it,
Yeah.
and then you start like seeing all the nuances, and you're like, well, all right, I'm not going to hold you to that standard because I don't know how the fuck you're holding this together. I can't even get a shower at home. I'm like, I'll wash myself at work in a sink because this shit is
hard.
off the rails here.
It's hard.
Your kids are young. His kids are, what, 5 and
5 and 7.
5 and 7. So
Yeah.
he's still
Well,
in the thick
Reese's
of it.
birthday, she'll be 8 when this airs.
Yeah.
She's,
Oh, how about
she's
that?
February 15th.
Shout out.
Shout out Reese, happy birthday.
Happy
Just missed
birthday.
Valentine's by one day.
But you know what? It's easy to decorate for her birthday because we just do it all in hearts.
Yeah, if it was a boy, that'd be a
That's
little
nice.
tougher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'd get tougher.
You'd get hearts too.
Yeah, dollar store hearts are.
Nate,
great
how old was
decoration.
your youngest? We were just
My youngest is 8.
okay.
8, 9, and 13.
And your kids the same? No, your kids are a little bit older.
6
than
and 10.
mine. Yeah,
Okay.
Y'all got little kids.
kids are
The oldest.
pain in the ass, man. And I don't get the half of it. Like I hear the backlash of it. I'm like, I'd have killed them. Like they go to like Girl Scouts, and I'm stuck with just one kid. And I'm like, we're either gonna spend $100 and go have fun, or we're gonna stay here and I'm gonna feel some sort of way about you. Like this is the way it is. It's like, Dad, my iPad, Dad. I'm like, all right, bro. Like, we're going to McDonald's. Like, we're not gonna do this busy work kind of thing here. Like, we got to go. So I love them dearly, but man, it is.
Full disclosure.
Yeah. So
Your oldest is about to go to college, right?
Yeah, she's a senior.
Where's she going?
Very strange.
Yeah.
She's going to Kent.
Okay.
Yeah, for architecture.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Very good artist. Very, very good.
circling back to the on-demand sitter thing, if I'm sitting at home and my son's iPad dies, could I just call you guys and be like, can I get someone? I need someone in like 11 minutes.
I mean, you could try, but there's
You probably need that. You could use that
You never
iPad
know.
to order them.
I
but
mean,
you can't.
Barb's pretty good, our on-call coordinator. I mean, she
Yeah.
might be able to be like, yeah, there's a sitter down the street from you. She can be there in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You're going to be like Verizon and be like, we're sorry, we need to
Between
send
3 and 7.
Last night they got me, I called because we were having a problem and they were like, can your device receive text messages? And I was like, no. They were like, please enter the mobile number that you're having problems with. So I entered it. It's like, we have sent you a confirmation text. I'm like,
Oh, I have to deal
can't.
with that too, and I can't get their text either. I don't know why.
3.5 hours
Yeah.
to file an insurance claim for $100.
Yeah.
There was roosters cackling in the background of the phone. The lady, I'm like, is that your dinner back here?
Oh my gosh.
Like, I was
online on my banking website today. So last month I realized they were still billing me from the old office.
okay.
And I'm like, what the fuck? So I called last month and I'm like, hey, I moved out of there in October. Like, stop billing me. Like, I don't. And they're like, oh, we're really sorry, but you're under contract. I'm like, I understand this, but I already went through all this with your people. You don't have service here. so the contract's void because you can't fulfill the service. They're like, oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. I canceled it. They billed me again today for $278.
I just feel like, can anybody do their jobs anymore these days?
No.
We just started with a different payroll company 2 months, not even 2 months ago, like a month and a half ago. We have not one thing has gone right. Not one single thing.
Yeah.
We know
a payroll company. They operate out of this business.
They operate out of this building.
So the office is the one far and to the right in the back, right?
It's all over the place.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Yeah, but it's been a nightmare. I mean, I feel like I'm just like talking in circles.
The payroll company that operates out here, the big sponsors on the show.
Yeah, big sponsor. It used to be now Duro Cleaners is a sponsor.
Which we need to change. Duro's willing to liquidate its space during tax season.
Fair enough.
So the permanent placement. I was reading through your website a little bit today. So you're finding, like you said, you're basically a recruitment agency. So you're looking for people that want to be a nanny. You're getting the applicants. You're putting them together with the families. Mm-hmm. And then do the families pay them directly? Or is it like a staffing agency deal where you pay them?
No, they pay them directly. Okay. We're like a matchmaking service, really. I hate to say recruitment because in corporate America, recruitment's just like, here's a resume, here's 5 resumes, and they hire that person. Right. Like, we're meeting these candidates in person. We're like, having a connection with them, and then the same with our family. So we're like trying to find that perfect fit that will work on a long term for everybody. But no, they pay them directly. So they put them on their own payroll, and we there are domestic in-home and payroll services that they.
What does that process look like? So like your high school, like I guess you're taking older people because like out of high school because they're being placed for long term.
Yeah, we require that they have like a minimum of 3 years prior experience, like especially, well, I would say definitely professional experience. Like we typically don't like to refer candidates that are like under 21. Because I mean, I guess like if you'd have 3 years, I mean, you'd have to be at least out of high school to be working for.
They're your brand at that point.
Like
you place the wrong person, comes back on you guys.
Right.
That's exactly it.
They all have to be vetted. We vet all of our candidates.
They got a new question to ask in the interview. Okay, so your house is full of kids. Do you rescue the minivan or the kids?
If they say minivan, they're good to go.
What's the first thing you grab?
Throw the kids in the minivan, back the minivan, through the garage door.
I like to think about it all. I'm like, man, if I could have just got those keys, man.
How old were you?
19.
Oh, yeah, that's garage door crashing.
Yeah.
So many fantasies were running through my brain right then and there. I was like, this is going to be awesome.
I'm going right through that door.
It was going to be like Christmas for you. Like, A++.
You're lucky that was a solid wood door and you did just smash it.
I was going forward then. If I couldn't go backwards, I was going through the brick in the front. Wait, you just seen the house rocking. Joker, Shecky, and the house rockers.
Oh, my God.
So how do you vet? Besides meeting them and trying to get a personal feel and background checks,
reference check-ins. Yeah, we do. There's specific background checks that you have to have in PA to work with kids.
Yeah.
No other agency in PA even does that. We're the only ones that actually do the legitimate background checks you're supposed to have done.
I guess we can't say not everyone. We don't know for sure, but
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
but I'm not 100%.
We don't want to point fingers, but we'll tell you who definitely is.
So you're requiring the clearances like they were going to work in a school.
Yes. Everything that you would need to have to work at a daycare or school.
You need clearances just a volunteer for your kids.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Rightfully so.
Right.
Yeah.
There are some real crazies out there.
Well, and that's what's like crazy to me.
I've failed that 3 times.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just interviewed like a couple nannies in the past few months that have worked for families, like long-term families, prior to coming to us. Neither one of them have ever had their background checks done. So I'm like, so these families hired you with no background checks? I mean, what is wrong?
Like, how trustworthy can you be?
I'm going to leave my kids with somebody that I have no idea.
The most.
And it's concerning to me, too, when I see people on, like, social media that are like, I need a sitter tonight. you know, for
Who's
my
any takers?
Yeah, and I'm like,
just gotta get
why is that random? Like,
Do you not like your children?
Right. I'm like, I just hope that these people are like, I mean, you definitely don't have time to check any references if you're looking for a sitter tonight.
No, you can look at their Facebook feed.
Facebook.
Right. Yeah. I'm like,
Groups they're in.
Yeah, ours. All
I don't
of
know,
our,
that's
like,
concerning
we went
to me.
through that rabbit hole of babysitters, and like we ended up with like the neighbor kid.
yeah,
Like,
right.
Because we had this one girl, she was great, and like we like did like a couple hour like just to see how she got along with the kids. Like we were like right down the street and like watching her on the
on the nanny cam.
we were like we're really like this girl's great. Like she was good. The kids loved her, and we were like, let's get some concert tickets and we'll go out. And then no call, no show. Yeah.
For your concert
Yeah. So I'm like,
tonight?
yeah. So I'm like, what the fuck?
What was the
so
show?
then
Do you
what did you
remember?
do?
What did you
It was
miss?
actually sucked because it was my wife lived in Hawaii for a little bit, and she found a guy. His name was Mike Pinto. He's like a kind of like a skull band. Like no one really knows him here, but he was like playing in like a bowling alley in Carnegie. But
Well, that's
it
cool
was just
though.
a
when
thought
you
that like
Yeah.
she's gonna get to see this band, and
So
they're
you
not
guys
coming back
couldn't
either.
find anyone else last night.
Guess you
just
should have
didn't
called
go.
us.
we should have called the preferred nanny.
No. See,
Yeah.
now you know.
So now it's weird because like you look like I have my two nieces that watch our kids, and I remember when they were just like, I'm like, how are they watching? They're like 15, you know, hanging
Yeah.
out. So
Oh God, we started babysitting at
my
like
gosh, I was
12
like
years
12.
old. Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
my wife started watching these. So I'm gonna bring this up because
here we
she baby every girl babysat back in the day.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have trusted us to babysit.
No.
And she said when she babysat, like she would do the dishes in the sink and like everything was ready. Like when the people came home, it was like your goal to like watch the kids. House is not a mess when you come home. The kids are in bed.
She sounds like an awesome wife. Dude.
Yeah.
She
Contrary to all the things that I heard you say, she sounds awesome.
But so now like
He said she used to do that. She'll do that shit now.
she was getting paid. But now like babysitters now you're like, hey, they kept our kids alive. Like
Yeah.
good job.
They didn't beat up our kids and leave them
Yeah.
And
outside.
like she did that all for like $4 an hour.
Oh, I
now
know.
babysitters are like $25-$30 an hour.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
cheap. That's for sure. And it's definitely a luxury service what we run. Like we're not pushing for like
for like a
low-class
nanny,
people with
not
this.
just like a date night sitter.
The
Like a
day night
nanny.
centers are more affordable, but like
You're still
the
if
nanny
you're
and
going
the
out to
things.
dinner
Yeah.
and for drinks and you're gonna be out 6 hours, you're looking at, you know, at least
Yeah,
$120.
Right, depending on how many kids you have.
And that's
At
what the friends and
minimum, I would
family
say
discount.
$20
Does it go up exponentially? Like it's 50,
for
it's
each.
then 100
Oh,
for two.
you know, some sitters they
No,
like they
it's
all
not
set their
double.
own rates.
That's what daycare used to be.
Not for
I mean,
babysitting.
You know,
Not for babysitting.
Yeah.
And not for nannying either.
when I had that second kid and third kid, I'm like, you know what?
Oh, that was your own fault.
I made my
Time to
mom
be,
quit her job
Mr.
and
Mom.
move 2 doors down.
You know, daycare's so freaking expensive now just to send your kid to daycare.
Yeah.
I just did taxes for a
Hardly worth
client.
going to work in that time.
I just did taxes for a client that takes her kid to daycare and she spent almost $25,000 last year.
Yeah, that's I just looked that up. It's like between like $20,000 and $37,000 on average in Pittsburgh.
Right.
For
Yeah,
daycare.
for daycare. So do you know how many kids they had in there? And if that was full time?
18.
Did they send them full time?
She has it's full time, but I think it's just one kid. She has 2, but I don't think the other kid goes
Yeah, I mean,
there.
it's like double to have a nanny, though. Like it's double
Yeah.
that
It
rate
is,
to
but
have a
then
nanny.
the-
You're
nannies-
one-on-one, you get that person.
one-on-one.
Right,
Right.
right.
And they're in
It's
your
more of a
house.
luxury service for
And
sure. Yeah.
people don't realize too, like when you have your child in daycare, like if they have a fever, if they're sick, you can't send them in.
Right.
Right.
So like a nanny can still come to your house, take care of your sick children. Like
Yeah.
daycare, you're calling off work because you can't take
Right.
Right.
your sick child in.
And there's convenience factor to it. You know, if I gotta go
out of
pick
your
up the
way to
kid at
drop them
daycare.
off
I gotta
and-
drop them off. I
Right.
gotta pick them up, and
Right.
you know, and then you gotta worry about the other kids. I had somebody.
Biting your kid.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
Right.
That's
Oh,
true.
there-
Like
yeah.
those toddlers are biting each other left and right in daycare.
I had a client that was
Left and right.
upset because their newborn came home and was tested positive for COVID, and it turned out that the director at the daycare was the one that had it and didn't tell anybody and was there with all the kids.
Oh, nice.
Working like in the
Yeah,
infant room.
working.
Oh, smart.
Yeah,
Smart.
we had a nightmare. Like my wife was prepared to go back to work. She wasn't real excited about it, but we had friends that had their kid at a daycare and then went back and like he was in the same diaper for like 6 hours.
Oh.
Oh my.
That was like one of our finalists on the list. So the second place was Mount Alvernia down in Chandler.
Oh yeah, my
Yeah,
cousin's kids are there.
Dude, the week that we were gonna like get this all under like rolling, there was one of the caretakers shook a baby and was on the news. And I'm like, well, this
When
isn't
did
gonna
that
work.
happen?
This would have been 7-8 years ago.
This was before Marcy's kids, my cousin.
And don't hold it.
Because
It
her
was like
kids were
right there
there.
in like on the
Yeah.
outskirts of Millville.
I think I kind of like
I
remember hearing about
think
that.
I remember that too.
So my
well, the woman's
psychological-
obviously not working there
Yeah,
anymore.
well, my psychological process was like, all right, so it's $25,000. Now I'm driving my truck through a daycare. I'm doing 7 to 10. I'm like, this financially is not affordable.
Certainly not sustainable. No.
Yeah, because like I'm now with this in my head when I go to pick my kid up every day. I'm like, everybody sit down, Indian style, Indian style.
No, you can't say that anymore, dude.
Yeah,
You can't
Chris
say-
Cross
yeah,
applesauce.
you
Yeah,
Applesauce.
yeah,
Is that why they changed it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say Indian style.
Oh yeah, is that what you said?
I'll edit that out. I'm going to cut it real close.
I'm 1% Indian, bro.
Right on.
If we haven't been if we haven't been canceled in the first 66 episodes, that ain't gonna do it.
Comments about Indian style. Fuck it.
That's gonna be the
Our
one.
episode 68 will be called Yarmer Yager Sitting Indian Style.
That's what's gonna do it.
Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, so it was just a bad fit for us, and I'm glad that she was able to stay home.
yeah, yeah.
That makes it better. If it's possible for
How is
parents
she
to stay
feeling
home.
about being at home now at this stage after
She's
being there
a
for as long?
seasoned veteran at this point.
Yeah.
My son just started 5 days worth of kindergarten, and my daughter's in second grade now.
Oh, yeah.
So like,
So it's-
she's now, and that's the other thing. I don't think people like. I don't think I gave her enough credit. Like when Grant, I thought like he's gonna get on the bus and like she's gonna do whatever, but like it's not that easy. It's a weird psyche as a mom. Stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
You're not just going to jump back into it, you know?
Oh,
Right.
right. Like into working, you mean?
Working or anything. It's like
Yeah.
it's like your whole life revolves around those
But
kids.
honestly, like,
Yeah.
how long are they really even in school? Like,
Not
it's like a
long.
6
It
hours.
goes
Like, what are you
by
going to
like
do
a
within
blink.
6
Exactly.
hours? You can
It
literally
really does.
fill your day
Yeah.
doing the household chores
Yeah.
in 6
That's
hours.
it,
Right.
you know.
And then it's still not done.
By the time you go home and clean up breakfast,
Or if it is done, the tornado comes home. and
Right,
ruins it.
right. From the time they come home to the time you come home, it doesn't look like she did anything probably, but she's
the
done
most-
a million things
Yeah,
during the
yeah.
day.
it's the most
Exactly.
unrewarding job in the world.
Absolutely.
Being a stay-at-home mom. 100%.
Yeah.
It's long-term rewards.
Well, yeah, I think I look at it in my kids. They're better people for it. They're
Oh, sure.
more advanced
yeah.
in school.
I mean, can you imagine if you were the stay-at-home parent?
Dude, I had it. No.
I've been like that, so I can drive the truck through the garage door.
Only in emergencies.
I'd have called you up and been like, hey, bro, who's offering loans for daycare service? Because we're going to need one of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is definitely a thankless position. And like, I was raised by my grandmother, and like, I think that, like, they didn't, I'd hate to say this, but like, she didn't know any better. That was like her job, like from
Yeah.
A1 to B. Like, that's what
Yeah.
she did.
Yeah.
And like, that generation was different. But
Right.
like, it's just weird that like, I don't know, we get a hall pass. Like, we own our own businesses. So like,
Yeah.
it's, hey, I gotta go. Like, if there wasn't that option, we'd have to call you guys. We'd be paying $50, $60 an hour.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So to start off, you were possibly filling in for cancellations and stuff. Your day-to-day was probably crazy hectic. It was just you two, right?
Yeah.
Short of the sitters.
Right.
How has it changed? What are you doing now? Are you still crazy running? Is it a well-oiled machine now?
I mean, I would say it's definitely a better oiled machine now.
Yeah.
But it's forever changing. And this year's
Well, 'cause we've grown a lot.
grown a lot. And this
Yeah.
year's been like oddly busy. Like our January was insane. We've never had a January busy like that ever. And this January I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Which isn't bad. That's a great thing. But like I was probably working 60-hour weeks all of January. My husband wanted to kill me. He'd come home from work and I'd be like, I gotta go back downstairs and do. I'm sorry.
He's on the app like ordering.
I just wanted someone to sit with me and watch a movie.
Why don't you just get an order for our address?
But I did. I felt bad. I mean, February's a little bit better, but we're still so busy. Like,
Yeah,
but,
growing
that's
pains
good.
are still growing pains. So I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
good thing.
But yeah, I would say like we have it much more down than we had ever before.
Yeah.
As far as
I mean,
just
well,
like the
you know
process
what?
and how we do it.
I mean, what really, really launched or helped our business out was COVID.
Yeah, yeah.
I was gonna
While
ask
other
how that
businesses were
works.
suffering, we were like,
Yeah,
it
never slowed down after that.
Yeah.
Like we've remained busy since 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, we
It just
started our business. We
kept
said
growing.
like 2011, but like for the first like 7 years, like we weren't busy. Like we were a small business. We started slow. We were both moms. Like
And there was
were
times that
doing
we
it
wanted to give up. We were like,
For sure.
fuck this.
For sure.
This is,
Why do you think COVID sped up your business? Because like a lot of people were home then. They were working from home.
because they needed to work.
Yeah.
And daycares were closing.
Daycares were closed.
So bringing
Schools were
nanny
closed.
in conjunction with them being there.
A lot of people were hiring nannies to help their kids with online school, to
Yeah.
help with just teaching in general. People were hiring in pods, like they'd hire a nanny and have like
From the
neighborhood
cul-de-sac.
kids come together so they could teach them
Yeah.
because like it was, yeah.
I know, but I think daycare closing, that was the biggest thing.
Right,
Because,
right.
I mean, you still have doctors. You still have people
And then
that can't work
I
from
wake up
home.
every day, yeah.
Yeah, so
Trying
they
to work
were,
with your kids at home.
is not easy.
It's a
yeah.
joy.
I love it when a client says joy. When a client says that to me, they're like, "Oh, we're just going to hire a part-time nanny because we're going to be here a couple of days and we can swing it with." I say, "Okay, we'll see how
Yeah,
that works out
right.
for you.
Yeah.
You'll be coming back needing that nanny to be there full time."
I actually thought about this tonight. I was leaving and I had my laptop at work and I was like, I should grab that so I can get some stuff done before the podcast at home. And I was like, who are you fucking kidding, dude? You ain't doing nothing at home. Like,
Good intentions. So.
yeah, like, just leave it here. It's safer here. Yeah. You can deal with this tomorrow.
Oh, what?
Did you like prepare a speech?
Yeah, I know. I'm like, what do you
Second, do you have
fucking
notes
prepared.
over there?
Yeah, what do
These
you
guys never prepare.
No,
I
I
just
did.
sit back there
I did
and I'm
research the website and I asked.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about the payroll thing.
Well, good job.
That's
And
it.
I wanted to ask
You
about
wanted to ask about payroll. I wonder why.
I'm going off your sheet. I wanted to
Is that like are you
Yeah, it's a
okay? Do
payroll
you have a
company.
payroll
I have an
company?
accounting firm.
Yeah.
We do payroll.
But it's account. Okay. Okay. So I'm assuming it's small then. You're not like a nationwide.
We can do anywhere in the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
if you have a problem, you can.
Remember
Might be
at
having
one
a bit of a conversation
Remember
with
at
you
one
later.
point we were going to get into payroll?
I remember that.
We thought about that for a
Remember that?
second.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It's a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot.
We were going to do it
Power
because
to
we
you.
wanted to be like a
All in
full
one.
service
Control and
nanny
widget.
agency
Sure.
where like we
Yeah.
could offer.
Then we started looking into
payroll.
that and we were like, dang, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot. Expensive software.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you think like, oh, I'll do it myself, and that's a nightmare.
Right.
That's like if you
So
were
you
like,
use software too?
Yeah.
Like you're paying for software. What do you use?
It's called. It's a company called Iris. They call it Payroll Relief.
We looked into so many. We might have looked into that.
We
I don't
actually
know.
did sign some.
We did. We were
Contract
we were
with some
this
company.
close. We were this close to doing it. I'm so
Yeah.
glad we didn't because I wouldn't have been able to handle that along
Yeah.
with how busy we've been. So
And you guys are in a couple states. What states are you in?
In a bunch of
how
states.
does that work?
we're officially in PA, Ohio, North Carolina, and New York.
Yes,
But we're
still
unofficially
working. Still working on
unofficially
the
in
other
some other
states.
states
Yeah.
as
So
well.
why did you jump to North Carolina?
Because the nanny, well, the director that runs North Carolina, she used to live here and she was pretty well known in the nanny community. She would do like her own thing, like kind of like, not really. She wasn't like a recruiter, but
She
she
was
would
a connect.
help.
We would say she's a connector.
She
She's
would
an
help.
agent.
Yeah, she would help families and like connect them with nannies, but like she wouldn't really do any like pre-screening or anything like that. But I mean, we love her. You know, became friends with her, and then she told us she was moving, and she's like, "Did you ever think of branching
Okay.
to North Carolina? Like maybe I can work for you guys?" And we're like, "All right, yeah, let's talk." So yeah, she's been with us now for what, like 2 years?
3 years.
3 already. Jeez.
This is year 3.
2025.
We're in year 3.
Good. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
So
a hustler.
Is
Yeah.
everything pretty much the same as you mentioned? Pennsylvania state regulations or all the
No,
different forms?
Pennsylvania's like the hardest state.
Yeah.
That's good. Good for us.
I mean, all states are different. Some
Pain
don't
in the
even
ass.
have like a state requirement. They just want you to have a background check done in general. So like we can run those through like Checker, which is easy. So that's what we've been doing pretty much in North Carolina. But
Yeah.
like PA is just so
Yeah,
strict.
it's like no nannies on Sunday. Can't have a nanny on Sunday.
So region-wise, are you like the whole state? Like it's just
Yes.
take Pennsylvania, like the whole
Yeah,
state.
we just
not
did. You're right.
Pittsburgh
Yeah,
area,
we're like,
everywhere.
As long as you're
operated to
licensed
work
in the
in the whole
state,
state,
we can do business anywhere. Like
I mean, that's
honestly.
what's nice. Yeah, with us that we can. I mean, everything's like remote.
You do
so
like
we're
vacation
interviewing.
nanny? Like if you're
Do what?
from Pittsburgh and you're going to the Carolinas for vacation, could you like organize that?
We-
Like if
we
you have a
could.
beach house and you're going out for an adult night.
I would
Well-
love to get into travel nannies and like
Yeah, we don't. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't get too many people that call about that, but that's something that we could help with too, like travel nannies.
Well, I know people that bring their mothers or mother-in-laws on vacation just to watch their kids.
Oh, who does that?
Well, man, I got a better setup.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I got a better setup than that. My father-in-law brings us on vacation to hang out with our kids. He's like, I
that's
miss
good.
them. They go down for.
Oh,
that's
see?
why we go to the Keys.
There you
We go
go.
with them. They go for the whole month,
Right.
and then we stay with them for a week.
Yeah, that's
So,
nice.
yeah. But
really
they
nice.
would need a nanny if we left it. We don't leave the kids very often with them alone.
Oh.
We brought Jenna on a trip one time
Oh, yeah?
to watch the kids. Yeah,
It was a free trip.
it was awesome. Yeah, she's like, hell yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
Paid for her room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
See?
great.
who's that? Your babysitter?
It was our cousin.
Our cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she was single at the time, or she was living here. She may have been with Seth, but not living with him. She was still living in Pittsburgh, and I forget where we were going. Hershey or something, maybe. I don't know why I don't remember, but we were like, it would be nice to have some help. Wonder if Jenna would want to go. Then I called her and asked her. She's like, hell yeah.
I feel
So
like
it
with
was
Valentine's Day around the corner, a great gift would be just like a week-long nanny. You guys offer like week-long?
Like temp nannies. Yep.
yeah, like a
Yep.
week-long.
Yeah, but that's like hard to fill too.
Yeah.
That's like not our favorite.
'Cause you're
When
in the
people
middle.
are calling us like, oh, we need a nanny for like 2 months, like we'll
We'll do
try
it, yeah.
and help you best we can. And most times we are successful at, filling a temp job, but they're difficult. They are kind of difficult to fill.
Yeah, because most people either have a job that's already like part-time or full-time, but if it is part-time, they only want to fill certain days. So the people that want to do like a week temp or a 3-week temp or a 2-month temp, that has to be a nanny that's like in between jobs. You know what I mean?
Which is kind of hard to find.
Or
yeah.
somebody
Tie her
that
up for
strictly
a-
does temp, which that's few and far between.
Right.
That somebody's just strictly
Like
doing
most
temp.
people that want to work that are looking for a job through an agency, they want something long term. Like
So
How long is long term? They're in complete
I
adolescence.
mean, obviously no
What's
one knows
adolescence
what the
mean?
future holds, but we say
Kid.
like a minimum of a year commitment.
Really?
15 years I worked for a family, guys. 15
Yeah.
years.
Really?
wow.
Yeah.
Our aunt was a nanny for a kid who's probably like, I don't know, he's like probably 22 now.
He's in college, or
Yeah.
he might be done with college. He's not
Well, she
working.
did,
Now she's like the house
such a
manager.
good job. Yeah, they kept her.
She's
Yeah.
like the house manager now.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I
right.
did. That's what I did.
Yeah. Most
I went from like
nannies-
nannying for a 2-year-old and a baby all the way up until high school aged. But
Right.
when they were high school aged, I was just doing household management stuff.
Where are they at now? Do you have any idea?
Wow.
College?
The one lives in Boston. He has a full-time job, lives in Boston, and the other's in college in Boca Raton, Florida. Yeah.
Nice.
Kid.
Yeah.
What's the like compared to like saying, hey, I'm going to send 2 kids to daycare, and then or you say, hey, I'm going to bring a nanny in. Like, what are we looking at? Like, we talked about the price of daycare. Is it somewhere close?
No.
No, I wouldn't think so. I mean, but then again, every daycare is different. I don't really know like
Yeah, they
what
are
daycares
different.
charge anymore. But I always tell families, like, if you can afford it, like, there's no question, go with a nanny.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, it's a no-brainer. Like, but I do understand like where it comes down to that, like the cost.
Yeah.
you know,
I
what
mean,
you can
our nannies
afford.
are paid between like anywhere between 25 and 35 an hour.
Plus, yeah, depending on how many kids. So, yeah, and like what else is
And then you
expected
just have
of
to
a
think
nanny.
like 40 hours a week. That's getting up there.
Back and down my
50 grand a year.
Valentine's Day gift. One day nanny.
Yeah,
You could still do a lot in a night. Make a
Right.
big night of it.
yeah. Why not?
I mean, it's funny how much money you spend on other shit. You know,
Yeah.
you don't even question it.
Right.
But when it comes to your kids, you're like, even the shit you spend money on your kids, that money, like Roblox and iPads,
Yes.
Wait till you start with
Switches
sports,
and
dude.
stuff.
Yes.
Oh, I know. I got a kid playing like Riverhounds soccer right now. Forget it. Like I'm
She's good.
might as well
Soccer's
just
supposed
be
to be
throwing
cheap.
my money out the window.
Isn't soccer supposed to be inexpensive?
Well, no.
No.
Maybe in comparison to some of the others.
Okay,
as
maybe
far
if
as
you're playing
equipment
rec
and
ball.
ice
If you're
time.
playing rec soccer, yeah, I mean, you just need a ball and some shin guards and you're good to go.
Yeah.
But if you're playing club
you
ball,
gotta
Any of that travel stuff.
yeah,
you gotta
she's
travel
traveling. She's
to another state
traveling
with your family and
to
stay in a
Maryland
hotel.
this weekend, Tennessee the weekend after.
yeah.
Like
All
it's
those
we're all
travel
over the
things are
place.
like, your kid is the best
Oh, yeah.
I have ever seen. He has made the team. Just make the check payable to Steve Smith. It's $1,300.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't want
I
to drive the
know.
Morningside when I was coaching baseball. I was like, Morningside? Go
My parents had drive here. I walked in the park.
I mean, that's so true. When I played softball, we would like have to travel like 25 minutes. And
Yeah.
I'd be like, this is way too far. Why aren't we just going to Byerstown?
Field right down the street.
I saw a TikTok about that. The guy was like, back then it was like, sorry, parents, we do have one game. It's 25 minutes up the road. You were going to have to provide transportation. And then it's like nowadays, it's like, we are going to hike through the Amazon.
Yeah.
The dude's sitting there with an arrow stuck through. He's like, sorry about the collateral damage you got last
Oh, I
week.
saw that
That's
TikTok.
so
There's a couple like
true.
that are hilarious. Like,
I
but
mean, my
it's so
sister's
true.
kids, they're in Virginia. They play softball, and it is like nonstop.
Yeah.
So kudos to those parents. Get a nanny.
Yeah, I can't do it. That's what I mean.
Tell your kid to strike out
You
3
are
times.
doing it. What are you
I
talking
know,
about?
but I mean, well, I was okay.
She's
So
a cheerleader.
Grace is in cheer, right? I was kind of hoping that she wasn't going to do comp in high school, but she had some.
you're gonna do
she
it,
got a
do it.
text the other day. They're like trying to make sure she's like recruiter to try out, and I'm like, oh, please.
Just kick
I
her in
can't
the
do
shit
it. Like
on the
I'm a
way
single parent. Like, and it's like I have 2 kids, like in 2 different places, and this and that, and trying to manage everything in my life, and everything in my house is falling apart.
in. It's all right.
I keep telling her apartment.
I
What are you
would love
doing
to.
in that
I want to
house?
sell my house
Get
and
an
just
apartment.
Condo or
Move.
something.
yeah, like
if
move
I-
into like a townhome.
If I didn't have Glenn,
No
I would not be in a
maintenance.
house. I would be in an apartment.
I'm straight to like the it is what it is phase in my life. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I remodeled my whole house and we got this dog that's like an 11-pound min pin. And he has turned my front door in. It looks like the FBI's been there for a month trying to get in. I'm like just shit's just, it is what it is. I'll fix it when he's gone.
Yeah,
I got
right.
12, 13 years to get around to that project.
You sound like my husband, though. He's like, we're not doing anything to this basement. It's just going to look like this until the kids are gone.
I agree.
I'm like, yeah, you're
We're
right.
boarding our dog. So like, you guys should probably get nannies for dogs. But so I told him earlier when I got here, I said, I almost came to the conclusion that we are going to put the dog up for adoption at the pound, go on vacation for 7 days. And if the dog is still available for adoption when I get back, we'll adopt it. Like, no questions asked.
meant
So
to be,
much
the dog will
cheaper.
still be
It's
there.
so much cheaper.
That's what I'm thinking.
Probably get some shots while it's there.
And like, I'm looking at the thing, and there's like regular rooms, and then there's like luxury rooms. My dog's not staying in a regular room.
Oh, you're not talking about your vacation. You're talking about the dog
The
that gets a
dog.
luxury room.
I'm like hoping this dog
jeez.
appreciates us when we get back.
Where is this Camp Bowel?
Yeah, where
Because
is
Camp
that?
Bowel has some luxury rooms, too.
Potpourri in New Kensington. You can sponsor the next episode.
I know, because how could you put a dog? Because the regular room is just like a cage,
Right.
And like if your dog's
Concrete
not
floor.
in a
I
crate
literally-
normally, like you feel bad about that.
Yeah, but I think the upgrade is like one of those 4-prong like trampoline beds. I think that's the upgrade. Like, can't we just bring our
So we're
own?
not talking
Yeah,
like
you can't
carpet
bring your
and
own?
couch.
I don't know. I'm not on that
This is like
committee.
a jacuzzi room
It's
with
like a little
balcony.
miniature living room.
Chance just cross-legged, smoking cigars, drinking red wine out of his dog bowl. Won't even get in the car after we gotta pick him up.
He looks at that key in. He's like, "What the fuck is this?"
I'm
doesn't have leather.
Luxury.
Heated seats? You don't have heated seats? This guy was out last Tuesday with this golden poodle. We were chilling in the heated seats. Fucking.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I just took our dog on vacation with us, and I feel like I paid, God, like an extra, had to be like $500-800 just to fucking take the dog. And I'm like, that's
They
ridiculous.
have to be able
You
to
have pets?
clean. Yes, I don't want
fucker.
any pets anymore. I have
you
2
fly
dogs and
with the
2
dog?
cats.
It's like people with a boat. They don't want
Yeah.
the boat anymore. They don't.
I'm selling our boat. We have a boat. That's
Bring
this
out
summer.
another
It's gone. It's
1,000.
not even getting on the water this year. We're done with
You
that.
still have the place in Conneaut.
We have the place at Conneaut, yes, and we'll keep the jet ski, but the boat gone.
Bring out another 1,000.
boat?
They say.
It's just a pontoon.
Is
It's
it up
old.
in Conneaut?
Party
Yeah.
cruiser.
Just take the motor, sell the motor, tie that bitch to the dock, and just drink on it.
You know my luck.
But then I have to pay
This
for
will be the
dock.
episode Amber listens to, and she'll be like, "You should find out how much that boat wants." Every year, she's like, "We should get a boat," and I'm like,
For
"We don't
down
have time."
here.
Well, for down here, we have a place we just bought a camp in Sagertown,
Oh, so close. Yeah.
and we have friends that have a place in Conneaut. She's like, "We can just leave it up there. We can leave it at the river," and I'm like,
And you can
We
buy our
don't
boat
have
right off
time.
the
If I'm
water.
talking-
Yeah, you can leave it right there.
I'm talking, I'm talking to Amber.
But
Which
it's
camera am I
I mean,
talking
the
about?
guy that had it before us.
Talk to,
hardly ever used it.
Got you, bud. You
Talk
ready?
to one of those two over there.
All right, Amber, just go online. You can rent a boat in Millville. Take your kids out. 6 hours, $375. My
Yeah, but
kids
that's
were on
the
it for
river.
11 minutes. They were like, "We're bored." I jumped in the river, swam back to the boat 5 times. They laughed. Still bored. We circled around 5 times, parked the boat, threw the dude the keys, and away we went.
"Make that a reel."
So wait, how long were you actually on the boat that
We
you
spent
rented?
we
you
spent the
said,
whole.
okay, you
but
used the
weren't-
time.
Yeah, we used the time.
Did you
but
go
like-
through any locks to get down to the
You
point
could-
or anything? Or
No, it's
In
just-
Millville, you don't
through
have
the
a
Millville pool?
Yeah, we went down around the point.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's the
there's
same.
no
thing.
locks.
Science Center. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking if I was a kid. I mean,
Yeah, it'd be
first
cool.
of all,
I'd love it.
we didn't steal this boat, right? That's a plus.
That's a plus.
Second of all, my dad's a captain. He's a sea captain.
He's
He
driving a
passed the
boat.
class online and everything. And because you have to have a boater's license.
Did you do it at the place, the
No,
rental
I
place?
did it on. You could do that on vacation,
Okay.
but I did that online. It was like a 2-night process, and I'm like, this is going to be the greatest day of these kids' lives.
Never. Never.
First of all,
Never when you think it
Yeah.
is.
I couldn't
Right.
bring their
You can't go
iPads,
in with those
'cause I was like, we're not
expectations.
chancing the iPads on the river. You know, that's retarded.
Right.
And then it was just, it was a
No, let's
mess.
say
Yeah.
that word either.
Can't say that either. But that's fine.
Retarded.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that.
Indian style retarded.
Oh
We're
man,
going for it tonight.
this is it. This is your last
This is
episode.
it. 67. We're on.
So much worse.
It's been so much worse. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's the move.
yeah
Rent
we
the
don't have
boat.
time to deal with stuff we have. In the
And my
summer.
wife was like, fuck this boat. Like, and I wanted a boat. I was like, we'll just get a boat. We'll dock it. We can go down there, camp on the boat, like get a bayliner with a, like, I was all about it. I'm like, this is going to be the best thing we've ever done. These kids are going to love this boat. My wife's going to love this boat.
No.
We were like, quiet bus. Let's just go home. Like,
So glad that you guys did that first
I was
before you
just
just
gonna
went
say,
out
right?
on the boat.
Yeah.
right. Because every argument would have ended with like, why don't you just go sleep on the boat?
Yeah.
I'd have just been like the president of the marina. She came down, the lights were dimming, margaritas were getting made.
Was it a pontoon boat?
It was a pontoon. It was
I
brand new
do
too.
feel like that is the draw for the boat though, is the community of being down there on the dock with all those
Especially
other
there,
boat
too,
owners.
where
Yeah,
that's
and the
all
older
there.
I get, I don't like
You know?
people.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah.
I don't want to
for
live in a
sure.
campground either.
I would go down there and rent the boat. I think that would be a fun day.
It is. Me and you, we'll go.
Let's
We'll
go.
have a blast.
Fuck them kids. No, listen.
Tell them to sit at the park. We'll go by and wave.
Just get a nanny for the
I was
day.
gonna say, yeah, take
guys
your
get
wives
out.
out. We'll send
Do
a
you
nanny.
have to park the boat back at the dock, or did you just?
Am I going to have to back the boat up?
That's what I'm worried
I'll
about.
whip it right in there.
I don't want to look like a complete asshole. You know what I mean? Like banging in everybody else's boats.
Oh,
Yeah,
man, we
but
had
it's pretty straightforward.
so many docking experiences where we were going to kill each other. Like we walked off of that dock and we're like, we're getting a divorce. We are
I think
getting a
that's
divorce.
like what happens
Yeah.
80%.
These ones are straight in.
But then whenever you pull right in, you get a good one. You're like, we are pros. We are pros at docking the boat.
That is a true test of a marriage, I think.
Yeah, and I had like the upper hand because I passed the test. I was like, who else is certified to operate this craft other than
I
I?
watched the video past the multiple choice test.
Video.
Those classes are like time too. So even though the video, or like what you read is like 3 seconds,
Yeah.
you have to wait 3 minutes and 30
Oh
seconds.
yeah.
But it's good for like ever. But the only thing that's important is knowing what side of the red and the green to be on.
Right.
Is that
Yeah.
all you learned from that?
I don't even remember that.
That's it.
I don't even remember it.
So like we did a class in school, the canoeing class though.
Oh yeah.
You guys remember that?
I remember
You had
that.
a canoeing class?
Dude, in our swimming pool in the middle school.
Oh, sorry. You had a swimming pool.
yeah.
We
Listen,
I didn't go to some pool.
we went to
did.
Riverview. We got a river in the back. We didn't get
We learned how to canoe and had to do like obstacle courses and tip it over in the
that's
pool and
right.
learn how to
I
tip it
wish I'd
back
have taken
over.
that
and-
class.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Hide
capsized
underneath
the
it.
kayak.
Yeah, he almost died in one.
I did almost die. I treaded water for about an hour.
Well, we don't even need a boating license.
Why? Because you're females?
No, because I was including Nate in there. Because when's your birthday?
What?
When were you born?
Oh, 84. It's
yeah,
an
so we're
age.
79. So anything before a certain year, you don't even need a boating license.
just born with it.
You just know that knowledge. You are born with it.
Like, we don't
Been around this long, you must know how to.
That's God-given.
Isn't it?
We know how to use a
Like, you're
touch
good.
phone
You don't
without
need
a
a boating
license.
license. He's 4 years younger than you, so he needs to have one.
Well, that should kind of be the same with driving too.
Well,
A little
we
bit.
talked about that quite a bit on here. Like, I don't feel like my daughter will have to get a driver's license. I mean, I think in the next 10 years, it'll be
Self-driving.
Self-driving. Everything will be self-driving.
to the extent where, like,
I've
you
been
just,
promised a flying car too.
Oh,
since
you
I was
just
a
have to
kid.
like
It's
do what you
fucking
do for boating and like take a course online and get a little card. You
yeah,
can
well, she
be
was
in the car
born
as a.
before 2020, so she knows
Yeah.
how to drive a car. It was just born into her.
Yeah, she just
Right.
knows. It's innate.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We knew. When we were born how to drive a car. We're Kennens.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
We're really good at it.
We're really good.
I
Oh,
started,
really?
the first vehicle I think I ever drove on the road was a 24-foot Oakmont truck on an old box truck. And she was hot.
I don't want to know how hot or why it was hot.
Why it was hot, right?
I'm just going to assume it was summertime. Anyway,
Yeah. The temperature. It was the temperature.
Do you ever play that show, that game Grand Theft Auto?
In
Yeah.
real life,
Yeah.
I did.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
hot.
That was such a good game.
Yeah.
He let his son play it once on. No, you didn't. Your wife
I-
accidentally let
Yeah,
him
she
play it.
did. She was like, "It's not
3
bad." I'm like,
seconds
"Are
of that
you
game,
shitting
and
me?
it's
That's
like-
horrible."
Yeah,
She's
they
like, "Well, I
say a
told
lot
her
of
to turn
terrible
the-"
things.
She's like,
There's hookers.
she's like, yeah.
yeah.
Well, first she's like, I said, they swear like you shoot people, and they're like, "Hey, motherfucker!" And she's like, "What? What?" And she's like, "Maybe I should tell him to turn the volume down." I'm like, "That'll work until he hires a prostitute or goes to the strip club."
Games have changed a lot, Amber.
I'm so
my
shocked
God.
when you would see clips. Like, I'm like, I know a lot, but like, you hear the way they're talking. I'm like, can't talk to people like that.
Yeah.
That's explicit
On a video game.
on a video.
Times they are changing. Thank you for listening. And now a brief word from our sponsor. Streamline your life with Duro Cleaner's complete pickup and delivery service. From your doorstep to their state-of-the-art cleaning facility and back, all without you lifting a finger. Get time back in your day in fresh, ready-to-go clothes. And just wait, big things are coming soon to make your experience even better. Visit DuroCleaners.com because life's better without laundry. And now, back to the show.
So, like, when you think about where you guys are now, you've been at this, 13 years now,
Yeah.
multiple names. Like, what's your next step?
Just to grow into other states
Different regions or
nationwide. We'd
different
like to be
services, or
nationwide.
both
I don't know if
combination?
we'll really do many other services, but I'd like to get even more high end than we are. I'd love to be like geared towards like high net worth clients if we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like travel nannies and things like
Right,
that. That's
right.
where I
Nanny
would
that
like to be.
Maybe speak Spanish. She can teach Spanish while
we
she's
do
there.
that.
I don't want to say that either, dude.
Oh yeah, well we do.
I didn't say Puerto Rican. I said Spanish.
Puerto Rican, they're
No,
American.
you can't
bro.
say that. You can't say Puerto Rican.
You can't?
No.
What?
Why?
Fucking guys.
Wait,
It just sounds bad, doesn't it?
No, they're American, bro.
Puerto Rican?
Puerto Rican. They're from Puerto Rico. Yeah. The hell else you go to?
Yeah, I think that's what
Like,
that's
Exactly. That's why you can't call
somebody
them
from
Puerto Rican.
Rico.
They're Americans.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What? Dude, I can't keep up with this shit. I can't.
I'm just going to wear like a t-shirt that says, like, I'm sorry if I offended you.
There has to be that T-shirt out there, and if there isn't,
I'm sure there is,
you're
yeah.
gonna make $1 million
Yeah, right.
right now.
We should make that and have it as B2B
Our logo, yeah.
merch.
Yeah.
Sorry if
I'm
we
sorry if we offended you.
Yeah.
I think, like, if I was ever to do a comedy special, it would be prepared to be offended.
Yeah.
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 Like
That's a really good idea. We got to work on that. Let's get a T-shirt for Between Two Bridges that says, "I'm sorry we offended you."
Okay. So we don't
Yeah, I
have a
think that's
guest
a
for
good idea.
episode 70. Our title should just be like, "We're here to offend you." Because in business, like you guys are moving with the punches all the time. You have people calling off. You got people, not doing what they're saying they're going to do. You got clients that aren't so you guys are dealing with a lot of shit.
We're dealing with a lot of crazy people too.
What's the worst shit you guys have ever dealt with a parent and a child?
I don't even know if I want to ever say anything.
Yes. I'll edit it all out.
No, you won't. I don't know, Jess. Go ahead. Is there,
I mean,
Let's start with the worst parent story, and then I
We're
want to
gonna
hear
edit
the
that out
worst.
if
We'll just say it's from
about-
Ohio. We'll say it was somebody.
Yeah, well, you don't have
They
to
service
you don't have to
Ohio.
get too
We'll say it's from
specific.
Kentucky.
I mean,
Just a situation. You could be.
I don't
It's
like talking
anonymous.
bad about clients.
I don't either. We've had some awful
Are they
people.
current clients?
No.
Yeah,
Just
we're-
being
No,
fuckers and expected too much
Yeah.
from.
I think it's bullshit that people can review our business, right? They say whatever the fuck they want, but
you can't
we
review them.
can't review a client.
He's called that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I want to start.
my brother and I thought about
What
that
do we-
too a
what
couple
do we
years
wanna
ago.
call
We
it?
wanted to start
I don't
something
know. It
like
was
that.
somebody's list.
Yeah.
Joe's list or something.
Karen exposed. I think that's what it was.
It's
Because
not right.
you can't, as a business owner, you're not allowed to defend yourself, right?
Right.
You can't go to Yelp and you can't follow up a bad review with some bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of business owners do. We had a guy on here that owns a pizza shop. We should probably embrace his.
He takes matters into his own hands.
Spirit animal. I
Oh,
know
wow.
Slice in New York.
Oh, yeah.
He has a ban list. He like
He goes right out at you.
every week he writes a story about a shitty customer on his Facebook.
Oh my God,
That is awesome.
amazing. I want to meet him.
He'll
I
take a
wanna talk to
screenshot
him.
of the review and then he'll post it on his Facebook and be like, "So here's what happened with this asshole."
Did you?
Oh, I love it.
lots of
my
videos.
God, I
He
love
doesn't
it too.
fuck around either because he was just a judge on the 100.7 pizza contest in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And him, Rockaway, is it Rockaway?
Yeah.
It was the 8.2 crew.
Yeah.
So Lupa's Pizza wouldn't be part of their, because they're friends. And he was like, you know what? They don't want anything to do with us. We're the A2 crew and they don't want anything to do with us. And he looks into the camera and he's like, hey, Lupa's, fuck you. So B2B's got your back, Sean. Fuck Lupa's because they don't
I
want
like
nothing to do
Lupo's
with
Pizza
people.
Lupo. That's
Yeah,
the other
like-
8.2.
Yeah,
I
they,
like Lupo's piece.
They didn't want to be part of it.
they don't want anything to do with those guys. So he looked into
Maybe
the
they
camera.
hold themselves to a little higher standard.
Right, but they're the A2 crew. They're selling T-shirts on the internet, and these guys. But anyway, he is taking it to a whole nother level.
Oh my God, I would love
I
to
know.
do that.
But he
I
still
know.
sells out of his pizza,
Yeah.
and he's a
Yeah.
nice guy. It's like a shtick
I've
for
said,
him.
people have asked me, because I have all these clients who are like, was that you? So there was we had him on the podcast, and then a couple days later, me and my son and my parents went to the pizza shop to have dinner. And I'm like, well, let's go. Amber and my daughter, I think they were at dance or something. I forget what they were doing. So the four of us went. I said, let's go to this pizza shop. I want to try this. He was really cool, and this pizza's supposed to be awesome. So the four of us go out, and we're sitting, eating our pizza. It was awesome. And me and my son are sitting on one side of the table. My parents are on the other side. My back is to the counter. And this guy comes in. I can't see him. I see him walk by me, but I can't see him, but I can hear this whole altercation go on. Now, they're so busy there that if you want pizza, you have to order in advance. And I'm not talking I'll pick it up in a half an hour. I'm talking
10 a.m.
10 a.m. I'll be there at 6 to pick up this pizza.
Oh my God.
He schedules them in half-hour increments, and it's because he can only cook so many pizzas in an hour.
Yeah,
and
right.
There's only so much room in the oven, and that's how
Right.
you have to order the pizza.
Yeah.
So at around a little after 6, this guy comes in and says, "Yeah, I want to get a pizza." And the owner's wife was like, "Do you have an order?" And he's like, "No, that's what I'm doing now. I'm ordering pizza." And she's like, "Well, we only have one slot left, and it's at 7:30." And he's like, "It's 6 o'clock." And she's like, "Well, I understand." She's like, "We're really busy, especially because of the Portnoy and just so busy
Yeah, right.
that we have to do it. We have to schedule it out. The soonest we can get you pizza 7:30, but we can get you. It's our only slot left." And then he was like, "This is bullshit. I've tried to come in here so many times, and every time it's like third time I try to come in here. I don't know why I fucking bother." And she's like, "I understand." And she explains it the third time. And at this point, I hear, do you have a fucking problem? And I turn around and Sean, the owner's head, is poking out the little kitchen window. Got a fucking problem? And I'm like, oh my God, here we go. So his wife's like, Sean, there's a kid here, because it's my son sitting right next to me. And the guy's like, yeah, I got a problem. And they start like mouthing off. And
Oh my God.
the customer's like, I'm from New York too. I'm not intimidated by you. So they start going at it. And then he starts walking toward, the customer starts walking toward the kitchen door. Sean meets him at the kitchen door, comes out of the kitchen with a bat.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Oh my God.
Customer appreciation night.
so the
Like, what were you doing? Like, just
well, at
don't
this point,
sit there.
I didn't even know what was going on. I'm
Oh,
like,
you didn't
I hear
know
them,
that.
but I'm like,
Okay,
I didn't know
yeah.
there was a bat. At this point, my mom's like, Jerry, here's a bat. And I'm like, okay. So I get up, my dad got up. The guy, instead of having the reaction like, okay, dude, like, you don't need a bat and leave, the guy grabbed the bat.
New York guy.
And now they're wrestling it for the bat.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
turn and I stand up.
His
and-
wife's filming all this
I'm
for
thinking,
social
what
media.
if he had a
His
gun
daughter.
or something? If he was like,
Wait,
oh,
who
yeah,
was filming?
He got a gun.
Sean's
Pulled a gun,
daughter.
who had free pizza.
Sean's daughter was there and she filmed and she turned the camera on at this point. And Sean made eye contact with me and it was like, there was a look on his face like, this isn't going how I thought it was going to go. And so I was standing there. He kind of started pushing him out into the dining room to where me and my dad were standing. And I got on one side. I grabbed the bat and grabbed his arm. And my dad grabbed the other side. And I'm like, it's time to go, bud. And he's like, I'll go, but you guys can't grab a bat. And he starts screaming. And I'm like, dude, it's time to go. And then we start just kind of walking him toward the door. And then he finally starts going toward the door. He goes out the door. He's like, I'm gonna take you down. You're gonna be out of business. And Sean goes, put it on the internet, motherfucker. And he shuts the door.
So the bat here,
Yeah, so we ordered
memorial
two
bat.
of those.
Oh, that's
he has
awesome.
one at his place.
Not yet. It's still sitting here.
We got
We gotta take it out there.
We gotta get this.
He's part of
we
this.
got your
I mean,
bat,
that's
bro.
awesome, though, that he's to the point in his business where he's that busy that it doesn't even fucking matter when
Yeah.
somebody like just calls him out on the internet or
Yeah.
says he's a shitty. No one's going to believe
So
it.
he posted it all over the internet. He was
posted
like, you don't. I'll put it on the internet. So
Yeah.
he posted that whole video.
Right.
So I have all these clients that reached out to me that night. Dude, was that you? Was that you? Are you a bouncer? What are you doing? And I'm like,
You're a bouncer at the
it's a
pizza
long
shop?
story, man. But I've had people that are like, he seems like a dick. Is he a dick? And I'm like, listen, if you're a dick to him, he's a dick back.
Yeah.
The only way that this works for him is that he is super nice to his customers that are nice and respectful to him and his family. And his pizza's fucking legit.
How long has he been in business?
4 years.
Yeah, not that long.
4 or 5 years.
He started during COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a COVID.
Yeah,
he
he was
started
selling
selling
pizza.
pizza out of his.
He was selling pizza boxes
garage.
out of his garage.
Get out.
Conveniently, they had pizza in them.
Yeah.
Because you're not allowed to sell pizza out of your garage.
Yeah, it just started as a hobby. He was in like corporate recruiting or something
Yeah.
like that, and
Wow.
started making pizza and
Yeah.
ended
So
up
now that
opening
you've
up a
heard
shop.
that story, let's hear about your Karen story.
Yeah.
I don't think I can
Anybody
tell any stories about clients. Like,
Neither
I
bat-
do not
they
want
current
that
clients?
backlash, to be honest.
No.
Because all the people that we have worked with that we would tell stories about are fucking crazy. And I
They
would
would
be scared
escalate
of
it.
what they would do
Yeah.
if they found out.
Have you ever had like a kid left alone? Like,
You mean like a nanny leaving a kid
like
alone?
a nanny shows up and then just is like, fuck it, I'm out. 'Cause that's my
Didn't
fear
we
of that.
actually have that happen?
I think that happened, but I don't think it was one of our nannies.
Yeah, but I think
think
that
they-
did happen at one
Yeah.
point
It's
where a
always my
family
fear.
told us
There
that
was
that
like
happened.
a client that called us and told us that
Yeah.
happened with
But
one
Put the,
of
nan-
them.
put the,
I
the,
need
the
a nanny
nanny
because
put
mine
the
Like it
just
was
left
like,
and my
like
kids
it
home
was
alone.
a situation where
You was your customer or your competitor.
yeah, it was like 5, like maybe like the nanny was done at 5 and the parents were late. So she
She had a
put
heart out.
put the nanny and
the baby
like,
and the kid in the,
or the
in
kid,
the crib.
yeah.
And just was like, peace
and
out.
was left.
Really?
So they were fired, and then they called you.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, I think that's it definitely wasn't someone we placed with them.
Right, right.
I mean, you know, the thing is like I feel like not that I mean we're so busy that I'll like we put up with shit, right? And I will put up with
So much shit.
to get a successful placement. But sometimes I'm just like, enough. I can't. I'm not.
Yeah.
Gonna, you're not gonna.
Nothing that I can
take
do.
advantage of me.
I'm Miss Nice all the time, but every once in a while I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
nope, you're going to get told and you're going to get put in your place now.
I think any business runs into that. You know it from the beginning too, in your gut. Like you've had clients, I've had people, like customers, especially when I had retail, like everything I do for you is not good enough.
Right.
So why don't we cut ties before it gets ugly? You know?
Yeah.
So like I had a guy, he had a raincoat that I cleaned and it had spots on it. So we re-cleaned it. And the spots were still there. So I was doing like another process of it. And like, he just was like, just an asshole about it. I'm like, I'm working on it.
Right.
It's September. You don't need it today. I get it. But like, I'll give it back to you. You can have it this afternoon. But if the spots don't come out, they don't come out. He's like, I want it now. I'm like, all right. So I went and got it out of the machine that it was soaking wet and just gave it back to him. I was like, there, you fucking have it now.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
At some point, any business owner is going to hit a breaking point.
That's exactly it.
And
Yeah.
I think that any time that I've ever had that breaking point with a client or a customer or anybody, it seems like you get 2 new ones the next day. Yep. It's like, just how it works out.
Right.
Because the business world, the business gods are looking after you.
And we're like a no refund business too. Like they're signing a contract where if you're paying me this placement fee, you're not getting a refund if something happens in 3, 6, a year from now.
If it's their fault or something.
Right.
But I'm always willing to like work with clients. Like if something happens, like if a nanny's like flakes out or something or whatever.
Well, I was just saying like, so then if somebody's like coming back and like being shitty and asking for a refund and they're like really like being an asshole, I'll just be like, just take your freaking money. It's not even worth my time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not even worth my time.
Yeah.
And like, there's been quite a few clients over the years that you're just like,
you'd rather just give them their money back so you don't.
Do you guys market and advertise, or is it all word of mouth?
It's all word of mouth.
Yeah, it's mostly word of mouth.
That's such a trusted industry. You have to.
Yeah.
Word of mouth is probably better.
There's really no good way to market our business like on paper, or like we've tried doing like, lots of different things over the years.
Like babysitting service, like we're going to actually be changing that up too. But I mean, I guess we could advertise.
We could advertise that, but like it's such a small niche of people that use that. So it's like, where do you advertise that?
Podcast mainly.
Yeah, definitely.
We're definitely taking sponsors.
You ever run into a problem where like you place this nanny? How do you combat like, all right, you placed X nanny with B family, they're a perfect fit, they're working together, and then they just, so you're done with that transaction then. It probably saves you from like the back alley deal. Like if you were taking a percentage every week, that nanny eventually would talk to that family and be like, all right, why don't you just pay me direct?
Oh, we've run into that before where they've tried to avoid paying us too. Like so
they like undercut you.
Yeah,
but they do sign something that they can't do that. So
I mean, we could
not that everybody listens
technically
to
go
it.
after them, but that would be a headache in itself too. But we just have to trust that our clients are going to do the right thing, and
sometimes you get some that don't.
But we've run into that before where nannies have told us that a client has said, why don't you just work for us?
And we won't tell
Jill and Jess, so we don't have to pay them.
Yeah, but luckily the nannies are the ones that are like, no, you're not doing that.
Yeah, you're going to hire a nanny paying her $25, $30 an hour, but then you can't afford to pay us our placement fee. Like you're that worried about
money. Get out of here.
But you can't pay
all
us.
These people that are, and I'm not saying
Steve from Mud Hall, we're talking to you.
I'm not saying we work with clients that aren't like on the super wealthy side. I get that. Like then it's tough for them, and we like work with those clients, but. A lot of our clients are like dual physician families, dual lawyer families, and then they're like trying to pinch pennies and like not pay us a full placement. I'm like, what?
Right. Then you go.
So wait, are you telling people, your clients, you're telling your people at the doctor's office, like, I'm going to do
this. I can take a kidney out of home.
Right.
Welcome to the service industry.
No one's asking you if they can do surgery for free. Like, come on.
Until you get to the service side of things, and then we're the last to get paid.
Right.
Because I work for the same people, and they have a $500 tab with the dry cleaners.
Yeah.
And they're like, there's no way I dry clean. I'm like,
there's no
I don't
leverage
just
of
make
products.
up fucking shirts that you brought in.
Yeah.
Like, and besides that, you haven't paid me for 3 weeks. So you didn't spend $500 a week.
Right.
You've been letting this slide for, $150 a week. So
right.
And I think some of those people, even though they do have an extensive income, what they do is they spread their self too thin everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like going to dinner every night and 2 fancy cars that are $3,000 a month, even though they have a ton of money.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right
But
on
like
that
they
too.
go down the list and it's like MasterCard's paid, Amex is paid, mortgage is paid. Then you get to the service sector. It's like you could probably stop the guy cutting the grass outside and be like, "Have you been paid?" And they're like, "Fuck no, dude, I've been paid a month." It's like, hey, neither's in the dry cleaning. And I've always been in those professions in my life. Like I was a grass cutter, and you're the last one to get paid.
No, you're right.
And it sucks because, I know our service is different, but I'm like, I would never hire someone to come into my house or doing construction or whatever and then be like, you know what? Yeah, they want to pay you.
And you know how many times people call us and we'll be like, oh, there's a fee to use your agency? Oh, no, we're just out here working for free. Come on, everyone. Come on. It's a free service. Like, what?
Yeah, Jess and Joe are actually allergic to money. So they just do this out of the kindness of their heart.
What?
right,
Are we
yeah.
doing it for what? No, nobody's out here doing a job for free.
Right.
Like, we have a life.
They
We have
don't
to live a
understand what the
life
job
too.
actually entails.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that was part of me walking into this episode. I didn't really, like, I kind of saw your website and I'm like, this seems too good to be true that you could just call someone and have someone like, I didn't even know it was an option, to be quite honest. I actually said to my wife, I said, night nurse, what's up with this thing?
Night nurse.
Dude,
She's like, did you have the wrong?
Yeah,
Did you click a link or something? Is that on their
I
website?
said night nurse anymore. What did I say?
It's not for you though. It's like if you needed somebody that needed a nurse.
No, but they,
Not like
Like a night nanny.
like when you have an infant,
Yeah, a
a night nurse. They
Yeah,
come
Yeah,
like,
it's for a baby.
care
For baby.
specialist.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know,
Night
I
nurse.
know.
Yeah.
So you could get some sleep.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But see, I pretended like I never even heard of that. And Sarah was like, I fucking suggested it when we needed it. Like, fucking talking about.
You're like, huh, if I'd heard that, I would have been on board.
First kid, second kid thing. Like, we had our
You
first
never
kid.
said that.
What?
You should have said you never said that.
What, on board?
To her.
I always said, I'm like, you're thinking things.
You just don't listen.
But like, that's the difference between first kid, second kid. Because our first kid, like, at the hospital, we were like up all night, like,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like,
Is it still breathing?
Dude,
Yeah.
and then the second
Right.
kid, they're like, you guys okay in here? We could take it down to the nursery for like a little bit for you so you can get some rest.
Right ahead.
First kid, we're like, how dare anybody
Yeah.
ever do that?
How do I know you're going to bring the
They
right
brought
baby
my
back?
son in. The second kid, I'm like, what's he doing here?
Take them back.
Keep him down there. We'll see him in a day or two.
Exactly.
That is so true.
It is
With my
true.
first, I
Yeah.
was like, she's not leaving my side. And my second, I was like, just keep her down there the whole time I'm here so I can sleep, please.
And I'm at the point
It is
now
so
where I just
true.
realized the second kid can save you money because my daughter's going to turn 8 on Saturday. And she said something about she wanted a Nintendo Switch. Well, financially, I'm like, I got to buy 2 Nintendo Switches. So, no, financially, I don't have to buy any Nintendo Switches.
Why do you have to buy 2? It's only one's birthday.
Yeah, but you ready for that war?
Dude, I got 3 kids.
How many have Nintendo
But when it's
Switches?
someone's birthday, I got 1 for the house. And then there's a battle of this one's
was
on
gonna
the
say, do
Switch
they
and this
fight
one's on the
over
Switch.
it?
And I
Yeah.
say, go on the iPad, go on the VR, go on the computer.
That's what I'm saying.
You're just watching YouTube, put it on the TV. And I want to watch YouTube on the TV.
I'm eliminating all that. I'm eliminating all that.
God forbid, it's very big.
I got to watch it on my iPad like this.
Oh, no. And they do that too. It's like right here.
And it's
Like, why
loud.
does it need to be on your face?
We all need nannies.
It's because they can't see anymore. All these kids' eyesight's so bad from looking at staring at screens their whole lives.
know.
Well, my kids are the
we
same.
do the
It's
same.
this
I
face.
feel
It's
like.
this close to their face, and it's up full volume.
Oh, wait till they have headphones in. And you're like, that better not be too loud. And they're
And
like,
then
what?
they never hear you.
Oh no, I can hear my daughters.
Yeah, same.
I can hear them.
Same.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? You're
These kids are all going to be deaf and blind.
That's
and
one of the
like,
things that parental controls is not there.
Seriously.
I will tell
We
you.
used to ride around in cars with the back seat was taken out and there was just speakers in its place.
Now you're sounding
You
old.
know what?
I will
I
tell
think
you.
about that. I'm like, I heard a car driving past a couple weeks ago, and they had that bass, and I'm like,
Been a long time since I
oh
heard
my
that.
god! Like, I can't even believe that we used to ride around
All
in
the time.
vehicles like
It's not,
that.
it's not as big of a thing as it used to be.
No.
For a
Because
while,
it's
though,
so
it
hard
was-
to do it now in these cars. They integrate everything. You can't do
Oh
it.
my
you can't just
God.
swap
You
out.
can't
the
just
giant
swap out the
integrated
little
touch
touchscreen anymore.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, Wi-Fi in a car
Oh, you
with
had an iPad.
iPads and headphones When you're going anywhere that's more than like 45 minutes
Right.
away, you're like, bring your iPads, bring your headphones. We're taking my
You
truck.
can go 7 hours. It don't even matter.
Yes, because they're just back there.
They won't even look up.
You can have any conversation you
I would
want.
be
You can
like
listen
so
to any
sick,
music you
car
want.
sick. And they
Yeah,
just
they
stare
do
at that
too.
shit.
They get wherever we're going. They're like, I am gonna throw up. Well, you've been staring at an iPad for 6 hours.
Oh my God.
That's why I spent 3.5 hours on the phone last night with Verizon, because I was like, there is no way I'm getting on a plane with an iPad.
Right?
It just doesn't charge.
Yeah.
I'm like, flight attendant, can I get a pillow, a book, and a rock? That's how we charge this thing, and we're gonna need it all right now. Because we gotta like prop it up on an angle. It's like
the cord is all.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Well, then just get a new iPad, bud.
We did.
He's got about
Okay.
2 switches.
He's got like 2 switches.
I want to have a birthday in your house, too.
Well, it sucks because my son's iPad's the one that broke, so he's getting a new iPad, and Reese's
Oh,
birthday
you're
is like
messing
the
up
day
the
after.
chain, dude.
Well,
They
just
get
wait.
They get
But
your
I
triple
asked Reese,
downs.
I said, hey, what do you want more? A Switch, or do you want your brother to have his iPad? She was like, he's pretty annoying when he doesn't have his iPad.
So wait, how old is your son?
He's 5.
Okay. You don't have a gaming computer, do you? Gaming PC?
No, I have.
Yeah, 'cause
I have
Leo-
Max. and
Leo
you
has
can't
been
play games
asking
on
for
it, and
one. So
Evan's
just wait until
freaking
your
out about
son
it. I want a
asks for that, because
PC.
they're what, like 1,500 plus?
A gaming PC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like a
Goodness.
minimum
Yeah,
1500.
so I mean, yeah.
The good
He's
news
not
is
getting
he can make
that
a
from-
buck for every pair
Yeah, but
of
with that
pants he
computer,
presses.
besides gaming, he could do some other things. So that's good. It's a tool. It could be a tool. Mine's a tool.
Yeah, but I mean,
Did you just call yourself a
he's
tool?
12.
No,
He
He's
did.
12. He doesn't need that right now. Like,
Yeah. They grow up so fast. It's
yeah, I'm like,
nuts.
he's been asking though for one for like 3 years. I'm like,
What's he into? Grace does cheer. What's he do?
lacrosse. Okay. Yeah, and he just did like flag football and stuff. But I don't want him to play
Football.
tackle football. I don't
Flag
even know if I
football
want
is
him
the
to
new
stay with
thing.
lacrosse in high
Did
school.
you see that Super Bowl
so-
commercial with Pat McAfee?
Well,
Pushing
yes.
So
For
good.
the
I love
women's
that.
flag football, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, we were all crying because Lily's playing flag.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she's a freshman, and this is the first year it will be sanctioned. So she's like so excited about
really?
it. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
I didn't see the commercial.
Oh, it was a girl. It was a
We go
girls'
to-
flag
we have
football.
big
We
school.
were
We
just
have
all crying
girls'
watching it.
Dude, Fox Chapel
We
was
can't
like-
even
swimming
field
pools.
a boys football.
Dude, Fox Chapel has a girls wrestling team, and they are killing it.
Chandler has a girls'
Yeah, I
wrestling
think
team
Hampton's-
too.
I don't know if they started one year.
I know this
They're
was
going
like.
to.
I feel like this was like
That
the
is
big
so
year
much
for
better than
women's
when we were in
wrestling
school.
too.
Yeah.
When we were in school, we used to have to wrestle girls. Like there
That
was
was
always
after
that
school.
No, there was
That was
always
after school, yeah, right?
for a skinny dude at 123, 135. There was always a chance you'd go to a school, you'd have to wrestle a girl.
Yeah.
Like a friend of ours, and like it puts you in a weird spot as a teenage boy. You're like, do I just
Yeah.
try to go out there and mess this girl up, or do I lose? And then all my friends, like, there's no winning.
Yeah.
Like you
yeah.
either pinned a girl or you lost to a girl.
You
Right.
never
When
thought
we were
like,
growing
well,
up.
at least I could maybe touch her boob.
Yeah, right?
I know,
They-
right?
they-
I'm gonna go out
Feel?
like a champ.
Oh yeah.
They were sending out the wrong kind of girls. If they had sent out good-looking girls, I'd have been like, "Give me some Snickers. I'm bumping up a week." Step out of my way, Joey. But yeah, it's a different world. I mean, and it's good. I think it's good. But obviously, we've crossed a lot of lines out here tonight. I'm learning a lot.
Edit a lot
We're
of
teetering on some very.
But I do think that it's funny how like it always goes back to your kids, right? Like we always
Yeah.
talk about our kids.
Yeah.
And then like you guys are in here and you're the professionals
Yeah.
when it comes to kids, right?
Yeah.
So you feel free to talk about your kids.
professionals.
So you
They
better,
do a pretty good job.
yeah, so you
with the
better
kids.
call
Pretty
preferred
good.
nanny. You know?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Like take out the middleman of like the awkwardness with like I had this
Well-
girl show up one time with like her boyfriend. And I'm like,
Oh, that's weird.
I don't know, man. You got
what?
you-
To babysit your kids?
It was like an interview, I guess.
Well, that's strike one.
Wait, she brought her boyfriend
To an interview?
Yeah, they were a team.
No.
Like, dude,
No.
I know. I'm like, bro, I know.
They're
exactly.
a team, all right.
I'm like, bro, I know exactly what you're thinking.
He's in the living room going.
Open my liquor cabinet. He's like, my dad doesn't have Blanton's.
That's like every 1980s movie.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
1980s
Yeah.
movie, there's a babysitter. The boyfriend always shows up.
Yeah, he sneaks over.
Yeah.
And then there's a murderer.
I just,
Then there's always a murder.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just talking to someone about how 1980s movies fucked up like our whole generation.
Yeah.
Because like they've painted this impossible picture for love and like fun.
Well, not even
like,
the 80s, but all of, as far as that goes, love stories
yeah.
of ruin.
Yeah, he started it out with like, you know that movie? I was like, I know a lot of movies. He's like,
You gotta keep going.
he's like, that Jerry Maguire, he's full of shit. And I'm like, well, this is
So is Forrest Gump? What the fuck?
So I'm like intrigued now. And he's like, that whole you complete me shit, that's not real life. And I'm like, he's pretty accurate, dude. Like, cause like there's days where like, you're just like, nobody's gonna fucking complete me. I'm a mess. But every rom-com you've ever
You know what
watched.
to show me the money, though.
Yeah.
That was a home run.
Yeah.
You can take a
can live
lot of
by
advice
that.
from that movie.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's life advice. Like, fuck you, you're never gonna complete me, but show me the fucking money.
Like I said, my first marriage was for love. Next one, if I ever get married again, will be for money.
I told my brother that at his first wedding. I said, I'll catch you on the next one. And I did. I was there for the next one.
See you next time.
Yeah, it was quick. I didn't even have to wait years to like gloat. It was like 2 years, and I was like,
Wait, what? So we got married, divorced, and then remarried again
like in
in
a
2
3
years?
or 4 year window. Yeah, it was
Wow.
fast. The first one was never gonna last. Yeah, there's a thing like if the parents like if your spouse can't at least be civil with the parents.
Oh
not
yeah,
gonna work.
yeah. If you don't get along with the in-laws and
You can't
stuff,
get a nanny
like
for
that.
your wife. Like you can't just like get a couple hours out without your
Oh,
wife.
maybe we should be doing that. Adult nannies.
Couple nanny. Like,
I think that's different.
you're gonna need
I don't think you're allowed. There's different
You're
licenses in
going
different
over
states. You can do that in Nevada. I think you can do that in Nevada.
That's a whole different kind of recruiting.
Right.
We're just selling you a box.
It's for entertainment.
I just think the whole concept is like you're like a support system for like people like because life is fast.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
kids ruin life. Like, I mean, were you allowed to say that?
I mean, at the end of the day, they're ruining it as they're also making it better at the same time.
Right.
It's like all give and take, but yes.
But you can have the best life with your kids, you know, and you and your spouse or your significant other can have the best life with your kids, but then you forget about each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
that caught up moment where
Oh
you're
yeah. Yeah.
like, and then now you're in a 6-hour car ride and the kids got Bluetooth, wireless, and iPads, and you're like, so,
How you been?
when you went to the bathroom earlier, number one, number two. Like, how's the weather? It's like, roll the fucking window down.
You need some
You
conversation
gotta pay
topics.
attention. Like, so it's like an invaluable service. So it's expensive. And especially like for people that do have 2 careers.
I think it's an important service that should.
Because not
be
everybody's built to
priced
be able to
accordingly.
sit back and be a stay-at-home mom. Like
No.
certain people are pursuing their careers. It's, you know, I see it every day. Like people need to continue pursuing their passions.
Right.
So like if there's an option and it's going to cost you $30 an hour, like,
Well, and
It's
if
worth
you're in the market for that, having somebody to be able to like, I wouldn't even know where to start.
yeah.
I'd be the guy being on Facebook. Like, anybody know anybody I can hire full time for to be a nanny?
Well, and that's
Like, where
the
do you
thing.
even
Yeah.
start?
I mean, that's what like Facebook and stuff. That I mean, kind of hurts our business too because a lot of people.
There's a wrench in for sure.
Yeah. We acquired a page. How many years ago was
I don't
that?
know, like 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, that we admin. There's thousands of people on it, and they
It's all
use
childcare,
They
yeah.
use it to find nannies and sitters. So it's like,
Yeah, but like that, to me, that would be like, I'm a dry cleaner. People clean their clothes. That'd be like going to a laundromat
yeah,
or using a dry cleaner. You
Right.
know, like there's a,
Right.
we're never going to consume the whole marketplace. There's always going to be something outside of
Yeah.
us. But like, as long as we're getting the top end of the clientele, then
Right.
we're fine. You know?
right, right.
Yeah, which is exactly what we're aiming for.
Yeah.
And it's every business.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
I do
you have
tax returns.
TurboTax.
And I had a guy one time who was a young kid. I told him how much it was. And my prices are pretty affordable for tax preparation. And he's like, I could have done it myself for less than that. And I'm like, of course you could have.
Yes, right, right.
The fuck kind of question is that? What kind of question is that?
That's why I say make your own hamburger and wash your own coffee.
Yeah, it'd be cheaper for you to change your own oil, but you're not going to tell that to the mechanic, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
right,
fuck.
right.
But I did it. So, yeah, I mean, there's always going to be another option that's less money.
Yeah.
But like I said, like if I'm in the market for that, I wouldn't even know
Okay.
where to start.
Okay.
And then
Did you guys carpool?
even if I did find somebody, there's still
are
that
those
question
equal?
of like,
I think I nailed it.
I think you gave me more.
it's still that question of like, you know, what's this person's background? Do they Can I trust them in my house with my belongings? Can I trust them with my children? Can I trust them?
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of layers.
I wouldn't
to
leave
that.
a plumber alone in my house, let alone a plumber alone in my house with my kids.
Yeah.
I wouldn't leave.
I don't know, bro.
Really, anybody.
You haven't met my kids yet. I'm like, I think we've said it here before, but my wife didn't listen to those episodes, so I'm going to reiterate it. I'm very fortunate to have a stay-at-home parent, you know, because the thought of that, you know, and at least they have someone to like vet these people. Like when we started talking about this vetting process. It's like so important because like it buys you some comfort, you know?
Yeah.
Like, exactly. And I mean, like since we've been in business for so long, I mean, a lot of these nannies, they just keep coming back to work with us. So we know them so well. And I feel like that gives families a peace of mind too, that these are not just, I mean, yeah, we do recruit new nannies too, but a lot of them we've known for years.
Yeah, and a lot are like sent to us by nannies we know too.
Yeah,
so
like
it's like they're referring friends who have
yeah.
also been long-term nannies. And like we're really trying to pull for those nannies that do this job as a career or want to do it as a career.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of people that that do this as a career?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a growing career here in Pittsburgh for sure. Yeah.
I guess that it would be because, you know, 2-income houses are more common than not.
Right.
And, you know, somebody's got to watch these kids. And I understand your costs are probably at least double what a daycare is, but I think that the benefits that you get,
it's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
it's completely different.
Exactly.
And I mean, you have a nanny in
it.
your home. That nanny's not just like sitting around just making sure your kids aren't dying during the day. They're doing all the things, like the developmental things, helping around the house too.
Are they doing
not
housework?
cleaning, but like keeping it tidy, like cleaning them after the kids, loading and unloading the dishwasher, organizing stuff
Cooking
daily,
dinner? No.
prepping dinner. Nannies will prep dinner. Yes.
All in one.
So you can, I mean, you're coming home to like a clean house with maybe dinner in a crock pot. Like, I mean,
I think the thing you said the most there was the developmental part of it, because like I could see it with my kids. Like I could see it day one when they started going to like 3-day like kindergarten pre-K. I was like, these kids are like, they like are like, we're gonna learn our colors, and I'm like, dude, my kids are already counting to 100. Because as a stay-at-home mom, you run out of activities.
Yeah.
So you have to like start doing something.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and I think too, a lot of families worry when they're like trying to weigh the pros and cons of hiring a nanny and daycare. They think, well, if I hire a nanny, like my kids aren't going to socialize with other kids, which is like totally false, because I mean, Pittsburgh now really has like a pretty strong, like big nanny community. So like there are people, I mean, even back before there was like social media and stuff, there was a bunch of us that got together, a big nanny group that all the kids would get together. We would go to the zoo, the museum, all of us together. So our nanny kids were all playing with each other's other nanny kids and stuff.
So they're socializing just the
Maybe
same.
takes them to the park, run around with the other kids.
Yeah, the park, the library, all of that. Yeah.
The word, you're just not allowed to use nanny anymore.
What's that?
Are they going to get to a point where you're not allowed to say the word nanny?
What's wrong with that?
I don't know, what would it be then? I mean, you're right.
Domestic-
You're right. It probably won't be. It'll be like domestic in-home employee or something. Yeah.
They'll decide
it makes me
that's
feel like
offensive.
it's a feminine person. It doesn't have to be a feminine.
Male.
No,
There's male nannies.
Yeah, there's male nannies.
nannies.
There's male nannies too.
But they don't now. They're like, they used to be called mannies. I don't think they like that term anymore now too. Yeah. So
everyone's a nanny.
It's just a nanny.
Everyone's a nanny.
So merman is off the table too.
Merman.
Bro, we're getting canceled. Who would have thought that like the two most responsible guests we ever had
would get us canceled
and got us canceled?
Well, it's been a good run, guys.
Most responsible.
And we've had some
questionable guests.
real questionable guests.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a lawyer though.
Yeah, he was pretty responsible.
Pretty online.
Run that one back. We're gonna need him. He was on a Super Bowl commercial.
What?
Oh my gosh, he's not the guy that had. No, he was not.
No, not that one.
No, he was on the David Allen commercial for the suits.
Oh, I hated that commercial. Those
Don't
guys. I
say
wanted
that.
the building
That was a
that they
really-
took on McKnight Road. They took the old Verizon building. That Romanoff.
Oh, that's the law firm.
That was the Super Bowl
No,
commercial.
David Allen.
You
was
mean
the suit.
is that the Super Bowl commercial that looked like a homemade commercial?
Yeah. All the local ones
I was
did.
like, what is this? And who puts this on the Super
Oh,
Bowl?
the Romanoff commercial? That was terrible.
It was so bad.
The one I was talking about was David Allen clothing.
Oh, okay.
So he was on that one because they were. And that
Oh, yeah,
was,
he wears all
it
the
was,
suits.
It was a nice commercial. David Allen, they do nice work down there.
I think I saw.
Yeah.
I love the commercials.
Yeah.
Pretty bad year for commercials.
It wasn't the greatest, but that's why I watched the Super Bowl.
It was a pretty good commercial. It was a pretty good Super Bowl, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were rooting for Philly.
You put your money on Philly.
Were you not?
Oh, I was.
Okay.
Wasn't everybody?
My favorite quarter was the third quarter because we hit the pole.
Did you?
Yeah. Nice
How
little-
much?
It was $2,500. But we have to split it 3 ways. So
Okay, well, hey,
that's good.
still
that's
bike
pretty
rental
good.
fees in Key West. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I won the coin toss.
yeah.
Did you
Tails
hear
never
when
fails.
the coin toss happened? The crowd went insane. You think Lady Gaga just came out? They were like tails, and everyone was like, "Woo!" Because half of the people there
And they
probably
showed
were
Taylor
like,
Swift, and they were like, "Boo!"
Yeah.
And then they showed Trump, and then they were like, "Woo!"
Yeah. Did you see Taylor Swift whenever they booed her? She was like,
Yeah. What's that?
like that's
I
never
thought that
happened
wasn't
before.
even her. I thought that was like somebody in the crowd that they found.
No, it was her. She
Yeah.
was like, and they booed
Yeah.
her.
What
and
did
she
she
was
say?
like,
She was like, "What's going on?"
yeah,
or
she was
something.
real confused.
Yeah.
She
She was
had
playing.
all
I think
this
she was
back.
playing dumb.
Yeah, it's fine.
She'll be okay.
So what's the
Yeah, I
next
think
step?
she will be okay
Yeah.
for sure. Next step.
No, I was asking him. He's got a whole prepared list here.
Yeah, I
Let's
think
see
I'm
what he's
about.
got
I
next.
think I'm working my way through it.
All right. So what's your next steps as a company?
Nationwide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like nationwide would
Yeah.
be great. That's our next step. I mean, there's all these businesses out here going nationwide and they aren't even legal to work in all the states. I mean, at least we're trying to work towards being legally doing business
Yeah.
in all these states.
How would you accomplish that? Just by
You have to license in every single state.
Okay.
So you have to pay for every single state.
But you don't have to have a physical location.
No, but
do,
there's agencies that will be like, yeah, we do placements nationwide. Get out of here, you do placements. There's no way you're paying 50 states every year. You're not doing that.
How long does it take to get licensed in the state, a state?
Not long at all.
It's super quick.
Yeah.
A couple weeks.
Not even. I don't even think.
So how long does it typically take to do a placement?
Oh, well, that's a good question.
Yeah, like 4 to 6 weeks
first
is
one.
pretty
It's about
average.
Yeah, I hate answering that question, honestly, when a client asks, because you just never know. Yeah.
So the reason my question is you could theoretically advertise we do placements nationwide, and if you get somebody in South Dakota, you just got to get licensed. But while you're
Oh, I see what you mean.
Get 'em
yeah.
as they
get
come
to
in.
start the
Yeah.
process,
Yeah.
then
Shorter
you're
to
getting
get the
licensed.
license than it is to get the nanny.
Yeah.
Right.
So
But the other thing too that is nice, and I don't know if it's what you're doing now or not, but if you are you interviewing nannies? Are you doing it as like if there's a family in New York calls you, hey, do you then put up a job for that?
Yes.
Yes,
Or do
we
you
do
have-
job specific recruiting.
Okay, so you're not like you don't have like a bank like
No, we do. We still have like a pool of nannies.
yeah.
That will.
People are always complete, even like, I mean, we have listings out in general for the areas that we're in, and like people are always applying. So we have nannies in our system, but we may not have interviewed them until a job would come through that's in their area.
Okay.
And what's nice about this software is like we can broadcast it out to like everyone that's applied through like the agency, whether we've interviewed them or not, or what, even if they finish their application. So they'll still get that like alert, and then they're like, oh wait, I'm interested in this job. I'll finish my application, and then we can interview them.
Yeah, so you could theoretically advertise that because it's faster to get the license than it is to do the actual placement. So
Right.
you could start the process at the same time, and by the time you're placed and actually receive revenue,
Right.
you're
you're
licensed.
giving industry secrets out.
Yeah, I mean, I like it.
Mr. Loophole.
I
We're
like
solving
it.
problems.
Solving
Yeah.
problems.
Live on the podcast.
So if you're a nanny and you're looking for a job, what's their best way to contact you guys? What's the best way for them to get into your system?
To complete an application on our website.
Yeah.
Go on website.
For a
If you're a
nanny.com.
family looking for a nanny,
Same.
just go to the website.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we'll do phone consults with nannies and families anytime if they have specific questions, but to go on and complete the registration or the application is always the best
ball
starting
rolling.
point. Yeah.
You're on social medias, marketing wise. You're on Facebook. And
Yeah, everywhere. We're all
Well,
over
I
the
don't know
place.
everywhere because I don't do all the other.
You're technically
Do you
everywhere.
have a
You just don't-
marketing company?
No, I think we need one.
Maybe.
We got a guy. We'll hook you up with
Do
them.
ya?
Dude, you
Okay.
can get your payroll done, taxes done here. Dry
I know.
cleaning
What
done,
the heck? This is like
and
a one-stop
marketing
shop.
Too
campaign.
bad I have 0 items at my house that I get dry cleaned. That's not true. I do have my daughter's starter, or not her, Letterman jacket needs dry cleaned.
He can clean anything.
Yeah, we clean anything. We do
You
laundry.
literally
We do
put
wash
it.
and fold.
It's like, do you ever see the TikTok with the magic coffee table where the guy tells his wife like, "This table's magic. I put stuff on the table, and the next morning it's gone."
I did see that. Yes. Yes.
He has this magic bag that you put your clothes in, and you put it outside, and a week later, it's all clean.
Oh my God. Yeah.
it's a
It's
thing.
great.
Amazing.
Wash and fold, dry
Amazing.
clean. I was scrubbing my shoes today, and I was like, "Why am I scrubbing these shoes?"
Do you have people that bring like all their laundry in for dry clean?
100%.
do the whites?
My
You do
best
the whites?
customers bring jumpsuits, like matching
Tracksuits.
Nike or Ralph Lauren jumpsuits, like to the tune of like $800 a month. Like not one suit, not one thing, because like
They
that's
like it to be perfect.
that's part of our like rebranding thing. We're getting away from like Doro dry cleaners, and we're headed to bleep this out. We're headed to like because it triggers something else. Because like people think dry cleaners is just dry cleaning. Like you read the tag, it says dry clean only. Well, I dry clean probably 30% of the things that come into my building.
Yeah.
Everything else is like going through a laundry process. It's about the pressing, you know.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah. They
right.
like that to be
I joke, I
perfectly
say-
pressed.
I say the dry cleaning
Extra
is about
starch.
the pressing.
I'm surprised I
My dad
haven't
joke
heard
of the
that. I
night.
haven't heard that on any
Where's
episode yet.
Where's your shop?
So we don't have a retail location. We do 100% home pickup and delivery.
Are you
But it
serious?
used,
I
it used
love
to be
that.
We used to
under
be on McKnight
Staples.
Road. We
on
were on
McKnight Road.
Staples, yeah,
next to
Doro
the Southern
Cleaners.
McDonald's.
Is that like a local term, the Southern McDonald's?
Well, there's two.
Pretty sure you're not allowed to say that anymore.
Say
There's two Eden
what?
Parks and there's two McDonald's.
Can't say what? What?
Southern McDonald's. They got the spicy chicken.
Wait, so you're doing that all?
You can't say that.
So he does everything.
So
Yeah,
who
everything-
does all
everything
the
now is
pickup
pickup
and
and
like who
delivery.
does all the pickup and drop
His
and
trucks on the
deliveries?
road.
Yeah, our vans
His
are
trucks.
road. So we have an app like, and like what we'll do is and what I was working on today, we're like geocaching the greater Pittsburgh area. And like if you're in Shaler, you're on Thursday. So like you send a message in saying I have dry cleaning, it will respond to you. We'll come pick it up and then we'll clean it. And then the next Thursday it's hanging on your door.
Oh, that is so great.
I like
So
that.
you're with the times because nobody
Yeah.
wants to physically drop off and pick up stuff in the dry
Yeah.
cleaner.
And
You're doing it right, my
I
man.
believe you that Jeff Bezos doesn't want to be in the dry cleaning business. Profit margins aren't there, so we're just trying to stay. Like he doesn't want to be in the nanny business either.
Stay in your lane. Just everyone
Yeah.
stays in their own lane. And
We'll find out Bezos' lane and just start going around them because like you're not gonna
Amazon
run-
starts doing dry cleaning there. You're fucked.
Oh yeah.
Well, because the problem with that would be is it would actually
Come pick it up.
I would actually just become a processor for it.
Right. I
It
was
would
just
make
going to
my
say,
life
you would
easier.
still be working. You'd
would
just be
actually
working
widen
for
your market.
Amazon
Yeah,
at
they
that point in
wouldn't do their
time.
own
Yeah.
shit. They would just pay him.
Yeah, it would eliminate me from having to have vans.
Your
on the
margins
road.
would go to
Yeah, so
shit.
Now, are you dropping off and picking up taxes from people's houses?
No, you can upload.
Now
My software
with
allows
new
you to
software.
upload.
Okay.
into the system.
Okay. So you have the
Yeah,
good
we can
software.
be completely virtual.
Buddy,
now.
we can work together. If they can't figure that out, my guys in their neighborhood one day a week.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
go from Pittsburgh to
we
Grove
should.
City. So
We should.
just
Oh, you want me to pick up your stuff? Look for the Duro cleaners, man.
So how many vans do you have?
so we have 3 vans, and we're working on expanding that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So and my wife does like deliveries.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Geez,
so-
this van idea all stemmed from that one day that you were trying to save those kids from that
Always
fire.
wanted to be in a van.
Yes.
My whole goal in life is to wreck a Chrysler Pacific through a garage. I don't know if it's going to
Oh,
be
your
out
laundry's in the garage? I'll get it.
Man, if you forgot your bag, you left it in the garage, not a worry. Yeah, it's been a full circle ride for me. So, just like you guys. You started out nannying and now you're managing nannies.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, I honestly, like, I knew that we would do okay, but I didn't think that we'd make it as far as we have, honestly.
Yeah.
It's always the scary
always
part.
been
And
How
now
big
that
you
you're
guys have
now that
gotten.
we're here, it's like, well, I mean, I'll probably just be working until I'm 70 now because I'm not going to quit this job.
Do you have any idea, and it may not be something you want to say on a podcast, but I hope you do.
I'll edit it.
How
Oh,
many?
shit.
He's not gonna. How many nannies have you placed?
I wish we had that number. Like
I know.
I do.
I
I
mean,
honestly wish we had that number because it's got to be like,
Rewind the tape and then just be very confident and be like 8,800.
1,752.
I gotta be more
no,
than
I
that.
don't know how many. I'm just making.
McDonald's doesn't know
I
how
know.
many fucking Big Macs they sold, but they'll just tell you
mean,
it's been over a billion.
Billion. It's been a billion for years.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do some quick math in my head, like
I
estimating how many we
I
do
can't
a
imagine
year.
that it would be over 2,000 because even if we were in business for 11 years, those first 7 years, we weren't crazy busy like we have been.
Right.
So like we
We were pretty consistent for a few years, like before COVID
Right.
hit.
I would say like from 2017 on.
But
we were
COVID
pretty
like
big.
really just launched us into,
But yeah, if we were good business owners, we would have tracked from the beginning, but we never did
everything
that.
What are you
Yeah.
averaging now? What are you at like?
Like placement wise, like, I mean, we did 8 placements in January between the 3 of us.
yeah.
Which is
say-
good. That's very good. If we continued on doing that, that would be very profitable for us.
Right. Probably like anywhere just between like 6 to 12 placements, sometimes even more a month, depending on how.
Yeah.
I mean, there was times during COVID, it was like, I feel
it
like
was
we had
really
like
crazy.
20 clients.
Oh my God. I remember,
Like
yeah.
I was,
that
we
was
would
crazy.
each have
2020,
10.
it was 2021 was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was definitely
I
insane.
think it's funny. We're on our 67th episode and we haven't had one episode yet.
We didn't mention COVID.
We didn't mention COVID.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be.
It
I don't think it will
affected
ever
every
not
business,
be mentioned because it's just like a fallback to that time. Like, and you just, I don't even remember it. Like, it's almost like it was either before or after COVID at this point.
Yeah.
And that's just how it's always going to be said. I feel like.
You see the
Yeah.
UPMC just started the mask mandate.
Yeah.
again.
I did see that.
I'm like, come on.
And
Yeah.
then did you see everybody's reactions to it on Facebook?
Yeah, about
Everybody's like,
AHN. People are like, AHN doesn't have mask mandates. I'm going to AHN now.
We'll never live in a world like that
if you have
again.
UPMC
It's all
insurance.
everybody's putting a laughing emoji on there. And everybody's like shutting off comments because everybody's talking shit. Like, fuck you.
We'll never live in that world again. Like we weren't built. I forget what guest it was, but they said we weren't built to sit in place. Like as a society.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
and we all know, like, okay, let's shut it down for 2 weeks. Well, I lost $250,000.
Exactly. So,
I can't afford to shut it down for 2
Right.
weeks.
The funny thing is we talk about COVID in every episode, and you said, a lot of businesses struggled during that time, but we picked up. But honestly, of all of our guests that we talked to, a ton of businesses didn't struggle.
Oh,
They struggled
really?
for a period of time.
And
But,
then,
but
yeah.
things picked up. Things are busier now than ever.
Right.
There was definitely slow times, and I have
But
clients.
I'm
in
like
all
saying,
these
like at the
different
beginning of
industries.
COVID,
Yeah,
they didn't.
and I work with a
Pretty
bunch
much
of
every
different
industry,
industries.
Yeah.
But they're all very motivated people.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
they found a way when things
make
were
it work.
weird.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
like Joe was selling.
Oh yeah, I had a
Flower
ran a
stand
nursery
outside.
out of my dry cleaners.
Yeah, and there's a local restaurant guy here that started selling produce out of the parking lot of his
That's
one of
where
his
I got the
restaurants.
flower idea. He
Yeah.
was selling
And
produce.
just whatever you can do to try to make ends meet. But then, with the programs that came out, the SBA loans, the PPP loans, all of a sudden it was like, okay, well, wait a second here. We qualify for a lot of money here, and
Yeah.
a lot of businesses came out of it. A lot of my clients, I can tell you, came out of it stronger than they went into it.
Good.
No,
yeah.
that is good to
I
hear.
like to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you never want to see someone lose, what
Yeah.
they
Their
work so
livelihood,
hard
yeah.
for. Right.
But there were definitely I work with some cleaning companies that all of a sudden their customers went to zero because people were like, you can't come in my house.
Yeah.
COVID, you might bring COVID
I
here.
know.
So there's nobody cleaning. I work with a handful of hairdressers, hair salons,
Yeah.
shut down for 3 months.
Right.
So now those hairdressers are out of work.
I know.
That was bad.
It was bad. It was
But then
so
the
bad.
If you
was like-
survive that period of time,
Right.
all of a sudden now you're getting this influx of money. And a lot of these small businesses before COVID, if you were a small business and you tried to go to a bank and get a $150,000 loan, banks would be like, what the fuck? No.
Yeah. Right.
But all of a sudden you could go on the SBA website and get approved for a $150,000 30-year 3.75% loan. People are like, and I can do it anything I want with it as long as it's business related.
Right.
Yeah, get me
Yeah,
that.
all right.
And then they bumped it up again. You're like, I can get $500,000? Sign me up. I'll pay for the next 30 years. Whatever. So
Whatever. We're not going to make it that long.
yeah, whatever. I'll be dead. And then PPP loans, and that a lot of that was forgiven. So there was a lot of programs that if you knew what you were doing, you could qualify for them. So it was good. So I think it's surprising, but I think if you, the business owners that were hustlers that were trying to figure out like, yeah, this sucks, but I'm not going down like this.
Yeah.
They came out stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's part of like a business owner thing. Like once you get into it so far, you're like, I don't care how much money I go into debt.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm
just
not
a number.
I'm not going out like this.
Yeah.
Like
And I'm
if
gonna
I
make
got to
more
borrow
next
to do
month.
it,
Like,
I'll figure it out.
We'll make it back next month. If we have a bad month this month, we'll make it back next month. You know?
It's so funny. My brother and I were just talking about this morning. We were talking about like it's a couple TikToks that we saw, like this, I guess like billionaires or millionaires that were being interviewed, and they're like, "Well, how did you get where you were?" And they're always like, "Borrowed money. I just borrowed it, and I borrowed it, and then I made more money, and then I worried about paying it back later, and whatever. Just don't, just keep."
Takes money
Yeah,
to
I
make
mean,
money.
Right.
Yep.
When we started this podcast, I was staring down the barrel of a 5-year lease to the tune of like $5,000 a month, and I didn't want to be there for 5 more years. It wasn't me. Like I love the business I'm in, but like it's not the future, and like I needed to make a move. And I think me and Jerry and like we were all talking, and it was like you need to find money to make money.
Yeah.
You're never like if you have a business idea, a great business idea, don't let the money get in the way of it.
Right.
If you're willing, if you're passionate about it and you're willing to do it, find the money.
Yeah.
Because you'll pay it back.
Exactly.
You might not pay it back on time. You might pay it back with a late penalty.
Yeah,
but you'll pay it back.
But that's kind of like what these people were saying too in these TikToks. Like, you'll find a way.
Tough times don't last.
Yeah.
Tough people do.
Exactly.
And tough times make you stronger.
Yeah.
And like
Exactly.
I was telling Jerry earlier when I got here, I said, when I switched away from the retail and went all to home delivery, February wasn't a month I was really thinking about in October. But man, it's February like a slow month. And like I should probably panic a little bit, but like I'm like, dude, March is right around the corner. We're fine. You know? And you gotta focus in. Sometimes that's good to have a low balance in the bank account, I think. Because it like makes you
I love it.
well, it just makes you
It makes me feel so not anxious, you know? Like,
that's why I guess I'm built different, because I look at it like, all right, it's time to go get it again. And
Yeah,
I've said
yeah.
that on many episodes here. Like, yeah, I could have just kept doing what I was doing, but I wasn't happy. Like, yeah, I probably should have either closed the doors or keep going forward with my idea. And that's what I'll do. But
You shut it down or you go all in.
yeah, and I was just coasting through life. There was no fun in that. Like, you guys could have just remained being nannies, got the next family, the next family. But like, at some point, you got to double down on yourself, you know?
You got to challenge yourself. Yeah.
What's another 0 in the debt column? Fuck it.
I always think too, I'd love to like get into other businesses, have other ideas.
yeah, she's always throwing ideas out there. And I'm like, go ahead, let's do it. Let's do it.
Dude, we had a guest on here, and he was like, he had businesses and got into something else, and then like he was down to like his last $85. And dude came around from the penny saver. We're all old enough to remember the penny saver.
Yeah.
The dude was like, I'll give you the back page because this dude just bailed on it. It's like $85. And he was like, I'm in. And it took off.
What was the business?
He was selling what, dishes?
Satellite dishes.
Satellite dishes.
Yeah.
Really?
And
He started in the cell phone game, early cell phone stuff.
yeah, and invested some money because, like, obviously, when you get into the satellite business, you have to buy. He had to prepay for these dishes, so he prepaid for the dishes, but they weren't selling.
Oh, shit.
So then, when he got the ad,
Then he sold them.
yeah, he started selling them like to the tune of like 3-4 a day, right?
Yeah, and then he got to a point where he didn't have the money to order more.
Yeah.
So he had all these orders. He had to borrow money because he didn't have any more money. He had to borrow money to order more satellite dishes to be able to fulfill the orders.
Right.
It was
It
like
finally paid off.
Yeah.
he was like, I was down to nothing, and this guy just happened to walk in the door and was like, "Hey, the back page is open. Do you want it?" And he's like,
Yeah.
Fuck
So
Yeah.
I'll
that was
take
a
it.
sign. Yeah.
"Yeah."
Right.
yeah, you just gotta like keep rolling with it. You know?
Exactly. Exactly.
I get emotional about it. I'm like, just keep going.
Just
dude.
keep going.
Take a hot shower. It's it's like when they say about like divorce, it's like, nah, just take a fucking nap. We're in it for the long haul.
Just take it. I'm going to use that. Just take a nap.
Just take a nap.
Go take a nap.
It's like one of my favorite memes. It's like, we don't talk about divorce in my family. Like, we just talk about like, hey, if you're sick and tired of me, just go take a nap. So,
All right. So they get a hold of you on your social media,
PreferredNanny.com, all
Yeah.
the socials,
all the
Yeah.
socials.
all the socials.
TikTok,
great.
Instagram. Twitter, X. I changed it. We call it X now.
Oh man.
We're not even on. Well,
No, we're not on Twitter X anymore.
I'm terrible with that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on Facebook all the time, but like I'm never looking on Instagram.
I never go on X, and I feel like it might be a missed opportunity for us.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
I post all of our stuff on X.
Oh, really?
From YouTube, I post to X. All the reels and stuff.
So maybe we should be on.
Not a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Just one's not paying
Because I
off.
feel like I did start a Twitter page a long time ago, and then
Yeah, but all the others. We do have a TikTok, but I only post.
Well, you deleted your TikTok, and that was for.
Well, I still
before
have
nanny.
TikTok. It's just I just have to access it through my computer. I can't do it on my phone. Listen, I deleted TikTok because I had a TikTok shop addiction.
That's
So
a real
I had to
thing.
get the fuck off
you
of
were spending
there.
too
I
many
thought you were going to
tokens.
say you were afraid the Chinese were downloading.
I know.
No, I am not. I don't care about
TikTok
that.
shop. Yeah, I
But
feel
I
you.
had
spending too
a
many
shopping
tokens.
addiction on there. I'm like, oh, a sweater for $5. Like, hell yeah, I'm
And then
buying
you get it,
that.
and it's this big. You're like, this was a large.
That's me. I get tied into Temu every once in a while.
Oh, see, I had to stop with that. My husband's obsessed with that Temu. Like, he wants to
haven't
buy
ordered
everything
from
from there. I'm like, get off of that.
I got a sweet ass butter dish from Temu. Though.
Sweet.
Of all the things, I thought he was gonna say, a butter
There's a
dish.
spreader on top, and like it says butter on it, so you know
So you
exactly
know what it is.
Just in case there's some confusion.
Late night podcast, you get home, you want some cinnamon toast. You're like,
Nice.
why does this taste like garlic? My wife's figured it out. We have a butter dish that says butter on it. We're not a big fan of like the words and the signs, so she just turns it around backwards. And then the garlic is in like a garlic dish that's shaped like a garlic. What do they call that?
Yeah.
She knows you well.
Like
Things
a
that
garlic
get labeled.
ball.
Yeah.
She knows me well. So
All right. Well, thanks for coming in, guys.
This is a blast.
Thanks for
Thanks for
having
having
us.
us,
Finally
guys.
make it happen.
Yeah, thank
he'll
you.
cut some reels up and we'll promote your business on X.
Okay, there we go.
So,
Thanks,
On that,
guys.
Nate.
All right.
Hit it.
all right. Oh, you got to get away from me, bro. I can't.
Thank you for listening to Between Two Bridges, a business-to-business podcast. Find and follow us on your preferred podcast streaming platform. Like and subscribe, and leave us a rating and review. You can join us socially on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X. You can email the show at info@betweentwobridgespodcast.com. Until next time, make it till you rake it.